More sports, pure sports. HTS.
After a storybook season in '94 that saw an expansion team go all the way to the final play of the championship game on the field and saw the team lose their nickname in the courts, the Baltimore Football Club had high expectations for this season. But now Baltimore has settled on a new name, the Stallions. And the Stallions have a lofty goal for '95 to win the Grey Cup. You can see their first step toward that goal next on HTS. It's a beautiful summer night in Baltimore as fans file into Memorial Stadium for the team's home opener. HTS presents CFL football from Baltimore's Memorial Stadium. The Baltimore Stallions host the San Antonio Texans. Hi, everybody. Scott Garceau and Bruce Laird with you from 33rd Street. Bruce, they may be the Baltimore Colts marching band, but they're now the Baltimore Stallions of the CFL.
They certainly are, but I'll tell you, that fight song certainly brings a lot of smiles and a lot of cheers to the fans of Baltimore. But, Scott, you're right. They are the Stallions. It's a new team, a new league. They need their own name. They need their own identity. They've earned it.
And tonight they need a win, as you see the Stallions sign here at Memorial Stadium, Bruce. They lost their opener, a tough one, a rematch of last year's Grey Cup.
Well, they certainly did, and they had a lot of emotion going into that game. And I asked Don Matthews real quick, were they too emotional for that game? And he didn't believe so. He just thought they made too many mental mistakes.
Well, teams are led by quarterbacks, and tonight you can appreciate these two as a defensive back. Two veteran leaders. Let's start first with San Antonio's David Archer, former NFL quarterback, plenty of experience on his side.
Well, David Archer's got all those tools, Scott, but he's one-dimensional out there tonight. He's going to want to throw the football. He's going to be looking for his first receiver. If he's not open, he'll go to his second or third guy right away.
And David Archer, he is a competitive leader, and he'll stand in the pocket and take a hit.
There's no doubt about that, and he'll always be looking for an advantage. He was able to find the pre-snap read that the defense gives him, and he's going to be a tough one to beat tonight.
And, of course, on the other side, the triple threat of Tracy Ham. He can beat you on the ground. He can put it in the air. He can do a lot of things to mess up a defense.
Well, Tracy has really come into his own, again, the last couple years. He loves Baltimore. He loves playing with his football team. He's really excited about the running game. What Tracy's got to do is continue to move the football all 4 quarters.
Hard to say a must game, second game of the season, but it'd be a tough way to start 0-2 if they don't get this one.
Oh, Scott, I think it is a must game. I think when you lose your opener, all of a sudden all those little doubts creep in that you've been working to get out of your mind. You know, you work hard training camp, you want to win the first one, you go up to BC, you have some tough luck, lose it. Yeah, this is a must game for these guys.
All right, the Colts fight song in the background. We're just about ready for some CFL football. The San Antonio Texans and the Baltimore Stallions. Get used to it. Coming up next. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. Scott Garceau and Bruce Laird with you tonight. A beautiful night for the home opener. And the Stallions, got to get used to saying that, Bruce, will receive the opening kickoff. We mentioned it earlier. This is a team that played in Sacramento last year, the San Antonio Texans, and a team that beat Baltimore twice. And we know Baltimore had a terrific initial season and got all the way to the Grey Cup.
Yes, they did. And I'll tell you what, there's some revenge factor in this, Scott, especially because of the fact that Sacramento's coming up here, and they got to win this opener.
There's Jim Spiros. He rode into Memorial Stadium on a horse yesterday and said, "We are the Stallions." And across the way, there's Don Matthews, the head coach, who's done such a good job building the football part of this operation. Now, Baltimore will receive the opening kickoff from Roman Anderson. Roman Anderson, some of you fans might remember, marched into Memorial Stadium last year and kicked one at the gun, a 44-yarder, and the Sacramento squad down Baltimore here at Memorial Stadium. He is an excellent kicker, the all-time NCAA scoring leader with 423 points when he kicked at the University of Houston. And Bruce, we might want to look, talking to the coaches yesterday, to a few gimmicks on the special teams, and we might see one here on the opening kickoff.
We certainly might. They want to get the ball to right if they possibly can. They've been doing a lot of fake reverses during the preseason, Scott. We may see them use that strategy tonight and let them come with one of those tonight with a fake reverse.
So if you see it come down to Lester Smith, who's on the near side of your screen, don't be surprised if he crosses over and gives it to Chris Wright on the reverse. Beautiful night. I guess football players enjoy playing in any weather, but when the sun's shining, you really want to get to work, right?
Well, you can't ask for a better evening. The field's a fast track. That new grass is really taking hold, so we should see great footing out there for both clubs.
Roman Anderson just about ready to put the foot into it, and the home schedule will be underway. San Antonio won their opener. Baltimore lost at BC. Now this is coming down to Lester Smith, and there is the reverse to Chris Wright. Wright across the 25, got some room, 40, up to the 50, and nearly up to midfield. Tackle at about the 52-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, that play certainly worked for him. The preseason set it up very well with all that faking, and that time Chris Wright took it and went with it.
Here's another look, Bruce. 38 yards on the return. You ran some kickoffs back. How about that one?
I certainly did, and I'll tell you, I never ran left to right as well as that young man's doing, but I'll tell you, he found that opening and just put on the afterburners and got up to about the 55-yard line.
So Chris Wright, who ran back a punt for a touchdown in Vancouver last week, a big play to get the Baltimore night started. Tracy Hams, the quarterback. Tuipulotu, the fullback, and fakes it to Pringle. Play action. Sets up down the middle and caught by Chris Armstrong. Good for a first down inside the 45 at about the 44-yard line. A 15-yard pickup on the play. Kenny Wilhite on the tackle.
Well, Scott, they like to go with a little play action. They want to establish the running game, and here you can see it. And he finds Chris Armstrong right in there, right under the zone coverage.
Up they come. There you see Armstrong. He is Tracy Ham's favorite receiver. How many times have we seen those two connect in the year plus a game? Out of the shotgun on 1st and 10. Ham, short toss to Tuipulotu. Got about 5 on the play, and that was a player they were missing a week ago. Here you look at the backs and receivers. Ham, and up front, Neil Fort, John Earl, Nick Subis, Mike Withacombe, and Shar Pordanish, the top offensive lineman in the league last year. But you missed Peter Tuipulotu. He does so many things for you, Bruce.
Without a doubt, he certainly does. And he catches the football so well and does such great blocking from Mike Pringle or Drummond back there.
Remember, 3-down football, so a big play here, 2nd and about 5. Ham going to run with it. And down he goes, close to a first down. Just about 5 on the pickup, and we'll wait and see.
And Scott, that's what I was talking about. You see Tracy right there. He was going to go with it. He couldn't find anything happening. You'll see him looking downfield. Now he doesn't see it. He's going to take that opening and put the ball and go with it. It's one thing Tracy's got to do more of, I believe, this year. When he can't find that 1st or 2nd receiver, he's got to tuck that football. He's got great athletic ability and go for the first down.
He's the 2nd all-time leading rusher in the CFL, over 5,600 yards. Out of the pocket, he gets flushed, cuts it back to the middle, and down he goes at about the 29. Just about a yard on the play. It looked like pretty good coverage that time, Bruce. He had some time.
He certainly did, and I'll tell you, that's called basically a coverage scramble. The coverage was so well.
Here's you're looking at the defense here. Collins, Spears, Bethune, and King up front, the linebackers. And then in the secondary, veteran Bobby Humphrey, Jason Wallace, Gerhardt, Cavness, and Frank.
As I was saying, Scott, because the coverage was so good downfield, Tracy couldn't find anybody. He was flushed out to his right to still be able to pick up a couple yards.
2nd down and 9. 3 receivers to the left. Ham looking that way over the middle, and it's nearly picked off in and out of the hands of Tim Walton, the big guy. Had it in his paws, Bruce, but like so many big guys, look at those hands all gloved and taped, and he just couldn't bring it in.
Well, he's certainly not used to catching a football. I can say that. He's just spying there. That's kind of either a man or zone. I can't really tell, but he's just spying in the middle, reading the quarterback's eyes.
In fairness to him, he almost made a great grab, really, throwing up the left arm. And we're going to have a 37-yard field goal attempt coming up now from Kicker Carlos Huerta, former star at Miami. He was 2 of 4 last week in Vancouver. He missed from 40 and missed 2 in the 40 to 49 range. This one is up, and it is good. So Carlos Huerta connects, and Baltimore on the board with a 3 spot.
Well, this is what I'm sure Coach Matthews was talking about all week long as we see Carlos come off the field, is you guys have got to start fast. And I don't think they did that last week. They were down 14-0 early. Here they get their first possession, come up with a gadget play. It goes real well for them. Great field position. Sets up this 36-yard field goal.
Well, you don't want to not take advantage of the kind of plays you mentioned that got them started. They faked the reverse on the kickoff. Wright took them out to nearly midfield, and you at least want to get 3. There's Don Matthews, and boy, they apparently had an intense week of practice. He wasn't happy with their concentration, I guess, as much as anything in that opener.
That certainly is true. I mean, that's one of the things that he was most upset with. You can see Steve Barato here talking to Ham. Here's another guy that really knows the importance of a veteran quarterback and trying to say, now listen, Trace, I got some things for you may not have seen or you want to pick up, and they're going to be talking all night long. You'll see those two together. But Matthews is the kind of coach that he does, you know, he will live with some physical mistakes, Scott. But if you're out there on his football team and you continue to make mental mistakes, you won't be here long. You know,
we've seen that. A couple that were here last week aren't here this week because they didn't do a good job on the special teams.
And there's no question, Coach takes a lot of pride in that special team unit. And as our dear departed friend Charlie Ekman would say, they'd be taking a cab, pal.
Couple did catch that cab. You saw the scoring play there. Capped off by the Huerta field goal, so it's a 3-0 Baltimore lead. 11:45 left to play here in the first quarter. The home opener, the Stallions from Baltimore, making their debut as the Stallions. And Josh Miller, the punter, been doing the kickoffs. And Bruce, we saw the ball blow off the tee. Wind could be a factor tonight. Some kind of gusty breeze around the stadium, and it has a tendency to swirl inside the bowl here.
Oh, without a doubt, it's just falling again as we see the horse kind of running around.
That's no Stallion.
That's no Stallion. That's right. I don't think it will affect the passers, but Scott, I think you're right. It will affect the field goal kickers and possibly the punters, depending on how it gets up here in this bowl and starts swirling as it can do.
See Kenny Watson now holding the football so it does not blow off the tee as Miller gets ready to put the foot to it. Wind knocking this one down, a high short kick. And up they come across the 40 to about the 43. We got a ball loose, and Baltimore has recovered.
Oh, that's called starting fast. If you want your special teams to come up and give you 2 great plays in a row, you certainly have that tonight.
Out of the pack, Jason Bryant had the football. Let's see who knocked it loose, Bruce.
Looks like Alvin Walton.
Dirty, they call him.
The old vet. And they're right there, Johnny, on the spot. Number 14, Jason Brandt.
There was a flag on the
ball was coughed up by Marcus Gates, and there was a penalty, and all of this for nothing, Bruce. Bring it back.
Oh, here's exactly what we were just talking about, the mental mistakes. And I'll tell you, I don't want to be in that locker room after the game when they go through special team reels, when Coach Matthews will just, he just gets irate about things like this.
Didn't hear the call from referee George Black. But Baltimore now teeing it up on the 30-yard line. So apparently an offside call against Baltimore on the coverage. And they'll do it all over again. Well, they're offside on a
offsides
kickoff.
On a kickoff. Just foolish mental mistake. Shouldn't happen. A big play. All for naught.
Back deep. Gates and Cavness. And Miller gets a better foot into this one. This is Cavness across the 30. Tries to get outside and doesn't make it. Down he goes around the 34-yard line. 13 yards on the return, and Lester Smith accepting congratulations. So our first look at the Texans offense here. David Archer, Mike Saunders, their featured running back. He had a big game last week. Tony Burse is the fullback. Gamble, Hess, Stock, and Kralik the wideouts. Up front, Shorts, Stevenson, Kiselak, kid from the University of Maryland. Esty has been replaced at the guard by Buttenberg, and then Smith at the left tackle. Play action, Archer setting up. Out to the near side, pass complete. And battling for yardage is Tony Burse, the big fullback.
Tony can catch the ball very well, as you just seen out there. Great play action by David Archer coming out 1st and 10. You're going to see David setting up. He's a deep drop passer. Throws a perfect spiral to the big guy. Now watch him blow his shoulder. That's when you got to wrap up. You didn't wrap up there, and that's why he got away from you. Head and shoulder tackles on big fullbacks like that, Scott, will only get you hurt.
That was Watson that missed the tackle. Burse got some size, 6 feet, 220 pounds. Now the handoff comes to Saunders, and good job as they string it out, and only about a yard, Bruce.
Absolutely great job by the outside linebacker that time, stringing the play out. Enabled Kenny Watson to come up from his halfback spot. You saw Kenny that time really put the shoulder and head through the body. So
here's a look at that Baltimore defense. Carter, Bayless, Pressberry, and Payton up front. Gravely, Brigance, Good in the linebackers. And in the secondary, Smith, Anthony, Lester Smith, Watson, and Griffin. 2nd and 9. Archer from the gun. Flips over the middle, complete to Burse. He's got a 1st down. He's to the Baltimore 50-yard line. So Tony Burse sneaks out of the backfield for 2 catches here in the early going.
Scotty, that's called an old check down play. You're expecting zone. David Archer was expecting zone, 1st and 10. He lets the receivers all air it out. All the linebackers drop real deep. You'll see him again with a deep drop. He just throws it to Burse. No one's around because the linebackers are dropping so deep. Bingo, 12 yards.
Archer, an 11-year pro, 3rd year in the Canadian Football League, all 3 with this franchise. Short drop this time, looking deep. Throwing for Gamble, it's incomplete. Coverage by Ken Watson. Well, he aired it out that time for David Gamble, but the coverage right there.
Well, I'll tell you, there's the old pro in David Archer coming into play right there. He sees man-to-man. He sees the corners up pressing. He gives a go-ahead. They may have something already worked out. He just takes it for the fade. And again, Baltimore may have to put more pressure on Archer in 1st and 10 to get to him because they only sent 4 guys that time, Scott.
Well, it's 2nd and 10 right now. Baltimore leads the game 3-0. 9.5 minutes left to play in the 1st quarter.
Big blitzing down here.
And here they come. Archer gets rid of it. Incomplete. Trying to hit a crossing. Billy Hess, the slot back. And now San Antonio will be forced to punt. Looked like a little more pressure coming that time, Bruce.
They certainly did. They sent 6 defensemen up front there, and Grant Carter was the one that coming right in view of Archer that time and got into his passing lane, and David just couldn't find the string on it that he usually has.
Todd Jordan back to punt. Deep for Baltimore's Chris Wright standing back on his 10. The Stallions have had pretty good luck blocking punts in their short history. Let's see if they put some pressure on here. Drummond came up the middle. Like a good punt in the corner and out of bounds. Hits the official right around the 5-yard line. So Todd Jordan, who's also the 3rd quarterback on the Texans, with a nice punt to pin the Stallions back on their own 5, a 45-yard punt. And that's doing your job.
Boy, you're not kidding. There's Kay Stevens yelling encouragement to him and giving the finger to somebody saying, get out there and do something. But I'll tell you,
the index finger.
That index finger is right. I'm sorry. Sure. He would never do that, would he? He's a head coach.
Former head coach of the Bills, was an NFL quarterback coach with the Rams and Bills. Also coached in the World League. The Sacramento Surge won the World Bowl in '92. Here comes Tracy Ham and the Stallions offense. 1st and 10 from their own 5. They've got 105 yards away from that goal line. From his own end zone. Plenty of time. Now he's going to run with it. And cuts up to the 15, and down he goes, just about a yard short of a 1st down.
I tell you, what a great job by that offensive line that time to give Tracy all that time. Plenty of time back there. He had a chance to look at 3 or 4 people.
That's a long time to be standing in the end zone, I would think.
You'll see it here. I tell you what, he's just ordered a Coke. It's Ken. He's had that. He's having his dog. Now he's got to take off a little bit. Still wants to throw the football. Now he takes off. He's got to do more of this.
And Tommy Smith finally brought him down, 2nd and 1. Pringle, he'll get you a yard. Got about 3, good for a first down.
Mike Pringle, the ball carrier.
Now, last week in the opener, Mike Pringle, 21 carries, 87 yards, scored 2 touchdowns. Of course, if you didn't follow Baltimore's effort last year, Mike Pringle established a CFL record. He ran for 1,972 yards.
You got to see more of Mike. He's going to be carrying the ball much more this evening. I tell you, Tracy's right now is featuring the pass, but Mike will be involved. Here comes the blitz.
And Ham checks off to Skinny Culver, and not much going there as they stack him up short of the 20. Will Height up to make the stop.
My old NFL teammate, not teammate, my old NFL compatriot, Billy Bradley from the Philadelphia Eagles is their defensive coordinator. And
what a ball hawk he was.
Man, could he scoop them up. I tell you, he ran punts back and everything. But he's going to have these guys mixed up a lot of different coverages, man, zone, combination man and zone. Scott, it's going to be interesting to see how well Tracy picks this up.
This is 2nd and 9. Pretty good time, flips it out. Not a lot on that pass, and that's not enough for a first down, as Pringle is tackled immediately just across the 20-yard line. So Josh Miller and the punt team come on. Not for
He's looking for Skinny, can't find Skinny, just wants to get it out there. But there's the big guy again who put up the ball the last time in there to knock down that pass.
Tim Walton.
Tim Walton put a nice little hurting on Mike.
6 feet, 250-pound middle linebacker.
Whoa.
Havness and Gates back to return the punt from left-footed Josh Miller. Not a good one. Low kick. Let's see if he gets a bounce. Short hop. And a penalty marker down. Didn't have that 5-yard cushion, it looks like. Only a 33-yard punt. And now they'll check out the penalty. The referee tonight is George Black.
Brady Katniss covering.
Check it out. Does he give him 5?
There's a flag on the play.
It's like about maybe 3.5.
Maybe 3.5, 4. Awful picky there.
Hey, Bruce, the rule is 5. You got to give him 5.
No, you don't.
No yards.
Only if you get caught.
Baltimore number 69. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You heard the call against Robert Davis. Now, Robert Davis is the snapper, so he was down there in a hurry, but maybe a little bit of too much of a hurry.
Well, that's a tough play. You got to be thinking that the ball's bouncing around. The receiver's going to try and pick it up and go with it. You can't just over-relax.
Yeah, special visitor. There he is, number 1 pick in the NBA draft. Hey, Joe. Joe Smith, now property of the Golden State Warriors. And boy, did he give us some thrills here in Maryland the last couple of years.
Oh, and what a fine young man and what a great basketball player. I just couldn't have been happier for him and Coach Williams and the whole staff.
You want to hit Joe up for a loan while we got him here, Bruce?
Jeez, yeah. See if he's got any cash.
Baltimore Football Club would like to thank the following companies for participating in the Business Booster Program. Please support the businesses who support the team. A.G. Edwards, Advantage Enterprises, AT&T, Fon Industries, Computerland Northwest, A1 Pizza in Waverly, Gartland and Company, and Greenmount Loan and Jewelry. Some of the sponsors. So Sacramento, or San Antonio, that was last year they were Sacramento. Excellent position here. And a chance to take the lead here. They're trailing 3-0 with 6.5 minutes left in the first quarter. There's Kay Stevenson, good offensive mind, and I think he's probably learned everything he's needed to learn. Doesn't have the CFL experience of Don Matthews, but now in his 3rd year has a pretty good idea how to approach the CFL game.
Oh, without a doubt. He's looked at the fact that he's been involved with offense his whole coaching career. He likes the wider field. He likes this kind of football.
And here they come up to the ball. David Archer's the quarterback. Mike Saunders and Tony Burst the running backs, and this is Saunders. Got about 5 or 6.
I'd be very surprised, Scott, if the San Antonio Texans can run consistently against this Baltimore front.
Well, last week they weren't running against Baltimore, but they sure had a big week on the ground in Shreveport.
That they did, over 278 yards rushing last week, and a real big second half for this ball club. They came out there from a 17-17 tie and just end up blowing them away. That's the Pirates.
Rolling to the near side is Archer. Throwing deep downfield for Gamble. Incomplete. Ken Watson was right there with him. Gamble wants a call, but Watson dove for the ball just like Gamble did.
See, there you can see some of the athletic ability of David Archer a little bit. Although he's not a runner, he can throw on the run and can work with a moving pocket. That time Kenny Watson over his back a little bit, but
like he may have grabbed him on the right arm, but I don't think it affected the play at all. And if you're an official, I think that's a good call.
I think it is. You got to look at the fact that, could he catch the football, and that ball was somewhat uncatchable.
We've got a long field goal attempt coming off the foot of Roman Anderson. Like a 51-yard attempt. And remember now, this can be run back. Kick is up, and it is good. Anderson, with a little room to spare, knocks one through from 50 yards out.
Boy, did he have some. He still had a little room to spare, Scott. I tell you, he hit that every bit as well as you possibly can hit it.
I think he likes the turf here at Memorial Stadium. He beat the Baltimore CFLs last year. And here to high snap. Good job by the holder, Bruce, to get that down.
He sure did. It didn't phase Roman, though, at all. He stayed right with it. Looks like a great little Matty 9-iron, doesn't it?
And that nice, gentle touch.
Yeah.
It didn't back up when it hit.
Have a cheer for you.
So the Texans huddle with their special teams. We are tied, and the big wheel's down on the field. I wonder if he knows how to spell Stallion.
Yes.
T. Been practicing for days.
Great S for him, Scott, don't you think?
They're squirting him down. That's a lot of letters. He needs a shower.
That's twice the work he's used to doing.
Big Wheel, been around for about 25 years, bending himself into Colt shape, and now he's spelling Stallions out here. There you see the drive, not much of a drive, only 6 yards, but a 50-yard boot off the foot of Roman Anderson, and we're tied at 3. Carlos Huerta hit a field goal earlier in the game to put Baltimore on top. 37-yarder from Huerta, and Anderson answers with the 50-yarder. Well, the CFL isn't a league based on field goals. I got a feeling we're going to see a few touchdowns before this one's over.
Oh, without a doubt. But I'll tell you, it is a league based on field position, and that was 3 points came from a field position play.
Now, we noticed you just saw on your screen the return man crossing, and I guess that has something to do about where they tee up the football. Don Matthews talking Friday about the position where they tee up the ball. They have a pretty good idea where they're trying to kick it, and they'd like to get the ball into the hands of Chris Wright here. Wright, number 28, Lester Smith, 36. They're the return man. And here comes Roman Anderson. This is Chris Wright. Now they fake the reverse. Wright hangs onto it. He's got a gap. 30-yard line. Penalty marker down. And right up to about the 41. But this one might be coming back. Well, first return, Bruce. They ran the reverse. This time they faked it.
Again, I think this is going to be another foolish type penalty. You're going to be seeing it.
Low angle look at the play.
Fakes the reverse, takes it. Right there, I thought it could have been a penalty, but there they're going to get him for holding.
Now we'll get the call in just a minute from referee George Black. The key is if you're on that coverage team, Bruce, you got to stay in your lanes, right?
You got to stay in your lanes, and you got to keep your hands in. I mean, you really can't extend your hands. You try and get your helmet, shoulder pads in there, but once you extend your hand, like we saw there by one of the Stallion ball players, they're going to call that.
You can see, if you can see the penalty here, right there.
Yep, he got 55, but he doesn't throw the flag right away on that one.
That would have been Malcolm Goodwin if the call was there. Here's Pringle, and down he goes for a loss. Nice defensive play. Tommy Smith has been one active linebacker here in the first quarter. 6'2", 225. third-year pro out of the University of Washington, and he really came up in a hurry that time.
Scotty certainly did, and you can see he might have been blitzing that time with just a great read on the quick flip, but you notice how he broke down on a Mike Pringle. Slippery running back, but he broke down, kept his position, and wrapped him up.
And
a great play.
Tough field position here. 2nd and 14. They don't want to punt so close to the end zone. Ham out to Tuipulotu, and down he goes. Well short of a first down, and that'll force another Baltimore punt.
That's the defensive coordinator, Billy Bradley's strategy. You get him back like that, you certainly don't want to come with anything that can hurt you big time. He went ahead with just a 4-man front, 4-man rush, and stayed back in some zone and covered very well downfield with the corners.
Well, here comes Josh Miller, and they need a good punt out of the league's best last year. He led the league in net and average. In this game, 1 punt for 33 yards. Last week, he averaged 48 yards a punt, tops in the league. Not a real good one here. Oh, mishandled by Gates. Back to get it, and down he goes. Well, a break there for Baltimore, as Gates could not handle the Miller punt, and that'll put him back to the 46-yard line on a 46-yard punt.
As you can see, that's a low liner. That's the one you want. You dream for that kind of punt to come in low like that. If you're a return man, you want to scoop that up right away and get upfield as soon as possible. You have a lot more time to take that ball because the opposing team is not down in their lanes as fast. That ball doesn't have as great a hang time.
All right, the San Antonio Texans up to the ball. First down and 10. Inside handoff, and nothing going for Saunders, and Swack got him. Elford Payton. Noted to strut a little after making a play like that.
Yeah, Alfred likes to express himself. There's no doubt about it, and I think it's all well and good to do that when you make a great play like that. Because he ducks inside. You can see that ducks inside the block. You don't really want to do that unless you're good enough athlete that Alfred is to come outside and be able to make that play.
Lost a yard. 2nd down and 11. Archer from the gun. Everybody out on the pattern. Coming near side and incomplete. Tried to drop it into Billy Hess, but a little too much on it. And now they're going to be forced to pass.
I'll tell you that play again. Getting in front of David Archer.
Brings up 3rd down and 11.
Archer
Grant Carter
has missed his last 4.
Send those 6 people and expect your people, your secondary to play man-to-man with a lot of crossing routes.
Todd Jordan punting to Chris Wright, who's back in single safety right there, number 28. Wright ran one back last week against the BC Lions, a 55-yard return. Here they come. Jordan gets it off. Looks like the wind played with that one a little, Bruce.
Yeah, he's not getting a real sweet drop on his foot that time, and you know, you can see it almost had reversed English on it. Scott got up in that wind, as you mentioned. It came right back down, a 27-yard punt. Certainly not one to be real happy with.
So a little change in field position here. It looked like Baltimore was pinned back on their own goal line, but after an exchange of punts, Stallions with good field position here. As you see the wind whipping around Memorial Stadium on what otherwise is a perfect night for football. From the 38, Tracy Ham in the shotgun. Wants to throw to Armstrong, caught for a short gain.
Ham's pass complete to Chris Armstrong.
Really haven't opened up much yet. It's been kind of a control passing game.
Hasn't it? Like both offensive ball clubs are feeling each other out a little bit. Not quite sure exactly what they want to do yet. They want to run the football. They want to try and get the ball thrown downfield. Both QBs are having a hard time getting the ball thrown more than 10 yards downfield so far this evening.
Kind of like the early rounds of a fight here as these two offenses kind of just feel out. Looks like
Tracy's seen something right here, Scott. He saw something there.
Let's see what he's going to. Pressure up the middle, incomplete. Trying to get it to Reggie Perry, and Perry was double teamed. Good coverage there as Jason Wallace and Tom Gerhardt, the free safety, came up. And boy, we got a punting battle on our hands here.
We certainly do. Well, both of these defenses are playing extremely well.
There you see the combination we hope to see more of, Ham to Armstrong. Those two last year, Armstrong he's played 24 games with Baltimore, and he's caught 22 Tracy Ham touchdown passes. And the two also combined for 12 touchdowns when they were teammates with the Edmonton Eskimos. So that's a combination that's one of the best in the league, Ham to Armstrong. Miller. A high wobbly kick from about the 21. It's Marcus Gates. And down he goes. 44-yard punt from Miller, a 7-yard return. And San Antonio takes over with 1:25 left in the first quarter. Just a couple of field goals. That's all the offense so far. Well, you're coming up on almost 5 quarters, Bruce, where Baltimore has not been able to score a touchdown against this team. Going back to last year when they were Sacramento, they got shut out. Something you rarely see in the CFL.
There's no doubt about it. Although that game was at a mud bowl, there we see owner Jim Spiros. I'm telling you, he's concerned about this.
He's with Commissioner Larry Smith standing next to him. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to Larry at halftime. Saunders, and he's down for a loss as that Baltimore defense, Robert Pressberry, gets up in their face and drops him for a loss. Pressberry playing lighter this year at 265 to give him some of that quickness, and we saw it right there.
Didn't you really? I tell you what, just beat him on the inside move. Guard tried to block back a little bit, just too quick for him.
Second down, 14.
Made a great play.
San Antonio.
Second down and 14.
Baltimore last time they were in this situation sent 5.
Here comes the rush. O.J. Brigance. And down goes Archer inside the 15. Swack doing his dance. There's O.J. And that's what this defense is built around, pressuring the quarterback. Brigance top of the screen right there, Bruce.
Just a great move. Just like Lawrence Taylor against an offensive tackle. Just too quick for him. Beat him with the outside move. Did a little swim, and David couldn't do anything about it. Archer had to take the sack.
And that's really the advantage of playing him at middle backer. You can hide him in so many different areas and send him after the quarterback.
No question about it. They're great move there if they could find a defensive end to come in there and put pressure on the quarterback, which they think they found in Grant Carter.
Jordan to punt from his own end zone, and Baltimore should have excellent field position here. Jordan hits a good one here, driving right back from about the 50. Midfield. And down he goes at about the 52-yard line. So Baltimore takes over after a 47-yard punt from Jordan, an 8-yard return from Wright. And they needed a good punt, and they got one that time.
They certainly did. They were in a hole, and they came back out of it with a great punt and real good coverage.
And that is the end of the first quarter. Nothing but field goals so far. It's the Baltimore Stallions 3 and the San Antonio Texans 3. And we'll return to Memorial Stadium right after this. Tonight, the home opener for the Baltimore Stallions. And Bruce, 3-3 after one. Has this been good defense or sluggish offense?
I think it's a combination of both, but I think it's been more so on the defensive side of the ball. I think it's been good defense by both clubs so far. Both clubs up front have done the job, and their secondaries have doing the job. So I think it's a matter of a defense of winning over the offense right now, Scott.
Stallions from the 52-yard line of San Antonio. Ham play action. Plenty of time. Throws incomplete. He had Armstrong open. And now maybe a late hit. Earl jumps on. Got some pushing and shoving back there. The guy Earl trying to protect his quarterback thought maybe Tracy Ham took a late shot. He jumped all over that defender. Second down.
Well, Tracy's out there smiling. I know he saw Chris. I know he wanted to get him the ball, but I guess, you know, defensive tackles, when they're in your face, it gets awful hard to put that ball exactly where you want it.
Second and 10. And good protection. Throws underneath to Pringle. Trying to get the first down. He's got it. Still on his feet. And all the way inside the 30-yard line to about the 28 or 27. A big play from Mike Pringle keeps the drive alive. 23 yards on the game.
Well, That's the thing Mike can do so well, but coming up here on the screen after Mike catches the ball, watch to see this lick that Skinny Culver puts on him to open that up, and that's Mike, all Mike Pringle, shedding tacklers and just good speed there to get to the outside.
Ham out of the shotgun. Looking like he's going to run. Tucks it in, 20, 15, and out of bounds right around the 10, another first down. 17 yards on the gain, and the Stallions are moving.
Anytime you play a two-dimensional quarterback, Scott, as we see Tracy Ham jogging back to the huddle, your defensive ends must think containment. You must come up the field. If he's going to get outside, he's got to do it by stepping up in the pocket. You can't give him the wide outside areas. He's just too good an athlete.
4 rushes, 33 yards for Tracy Ham, and you said coming in, he needs to do more of that.
I think it's an important part of his talent that he run the football when the opportunity presents itself. And they're dogging here.
Pringle right up the middle, short gain. Plows into about the 7 or 8 yard line. And dogging isn't bad, is it, Bruce, on that kind of a situation where you're running between the tackles, because whether it's a passing play or a running play, you're filling holes.
Absolutely, Scott. In fact, a lot of blitzes are just designed for run blitzes. They're specifically drawn up, and they're run that way to stop a running game. So just because you hear that the teams are blitzing doesn't necessarily mean they're blitzing to stop the passer.
2nd and goal. Ham down the middle, incomplete. Perry got his hands on it. On the coverage was Gerhardt.
Oh, that was in there. I'll tell you, he wants that one back because Tracy hung in there. The all-out blitz. There he is. He's looking at the other way. Then he finds him. He throws a perfect strike here.
Right in the hands, and as you could see, Gerhardt kind of stripping his arms back and forced the football out of there.
Gerhardt made a great defensive play.
Little chip shot field goal here for Carlos Huerta. He hit one in the first quarter, a chance to give Baltimore the lead from 15 yards out. Out of the hole to Dan Crowley, first-year player out of Towson State. Low screamer is good.
Woo! That wasn't pretty.
So the Stallions up 6-3 as these two trade field goals here in the early going of the first half. Well, you get down there, and I guess you're not happy, Bruce, coming off the field with 3.
No, you really aren't. I mean, it's time that these guys put some points, real points on the board. At a great field position. Pringle makes a great play. You're down inside that red zone, down inside the 10, 15-yard line. You have to put the ball in the end zone. It will catch up with you, Scott, if you keep getting 3 points in this league. There's no doubt about it.
There's Carlos Huerta, former All-American at the University of Miami, played on a national championship team there, and he's got a tough job because Iggy was pretty popular in Baltimore last year and did a great job.
Isn't that the truth? I'll tell you, to come in after Iggy, it wouldn't be pretty. You don't want to miss him early here in front of these Stallion fans, if I can remember their new name. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to go on a bad streak and be 0 for 5.
Let me ask you, next week, Baltimore plays at San Antonio. Same team, right back at it. Is that tough from a player? Or did you go through that in your pro career?
We never had any situations like that, Scott. I got to think that's real hard on you. You really want somebody else to beat up on. You know, you're a defensive player. Although the preparation makes it a lot easier for you, but mentally going down there and playing the same guys.
Jim Sparrow's down there. Jim and the Baltimore Football Club would like to thank some of those business booster program. First Preference Mortgage, Badges Buttons Plus, Malmstrom Athletic, American Space Planners, Wilkinson Corporation, The Image Makers, May Ambulance Service, and Mr. Tire. San Antonio with the football here. On first down, Archer sets up the middle, and a short gain on the play. Just got back past the line of scrimmage. And now some pushing and shoving going on as Peyton gets into it.
Archer on the keeper.
Well, the tempers are flying early. And you'll see here just a 5-man rush. Archer loves the deep drop. Can't find anybody. That's a coverage situation.
1 yard on the play. 2nd down 9.
The big guy's coming off the blocks very well.
So Archer, who you will not confuse with Tracy Ham when he runs the football, got a yard, 2nd down and 9.
This is a big blitzing down. Obviously, it's a passing down. We'll see what they come with.
Safeties blitzing. Throw, and he drops it in there. A nice toss. Plenty of touch on that pass as Mike Saunders, the running back, makes the grab. He is a good receiver, but give credit to Archer as he just dropped it in over the defense.
See, that's one of the great things David has the capabilities of doing. He sees it. He was going for him right away. Must have known it was blitz. And look at that touch right there on Tracy Gravely. Linebacker on back. Halfback ran a great route.
If you're covering and you see that dropping in there, you say, uh-oh, can't quite get there.
Oh, you just want to say, do I have a shot of him dropping that?
25 yards on that pickup. And here comes Mike Saunders battling up the middle. Saunders, 5'11", 205-pounder out of Iowa. He's a 4th-year pro, first year with this team. They got him from Saskatchewan. He ran for over 1,200 yards. You see the numbers on the screen, over a 5-yard average. He is a good one. And when they lost Troy Mills, not standing back with him last year, they said, we got to replace him with quality, and that's the man.
And he came right in, I guess, a couple days worth of practice and had a great opening week for him.
2nd and 5. Archer looking down the middle, tucks it in, now throws it, got his man, it's Saunders, touchdown. No markers down, and we said Mike Saunders was an excellent receiver. He beat the defense that time.
There again, at that time he beat one of the inside corners, so they call him halfbacks in this league, Kenny Watson.
46 yards, and here it is. He little pump fake, stepped up, and there he is, wide open.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was Lester Smith, the free safety. It must have been in some kind of blitz.
So now
have safety on the halfback like that, Scott.
San Antonio takes a 9-6 lead. Roman Anderson will try to tack on the point after. Penalty markers down. Kick is good, and now they will huddle and check out the penalty. Call's going to go against the Texans. So Anderson will have to do it again. It's another penalty that'll drive a coach crazy, right?
Oh boy, they get
an automatic point.
All those gray hairs.
Illegal substitution. Illegal substitution. Number 45, San Antonio.
Well, Tom Gerhardt, take a bow.
Illegal substitution is the call. Roman Anderson.
That's Gerhardt out on the right wing.
He's a little defensive back. They're making a great play on one of our receivers in the end zone. What's he doing on the wing there? He's going to get hurt.
And it's up and good. So no problem after the penalty as Roman Anderson converts.
The kick is good.
And Baltimore in the hole now, trailing 10-6 after losing last week. And another look at the score. David Archer, the running back Mike Saunders, who got behind Lester Smith.
You know, as we said in the pregame show, you can tell David Archer's, you know, he's mobile. He's not going to want to run the football, but he'll get out of his own way in the way of some defensive players every now and then. But he's looking to pass the football. He's looking to move the football downfield. That time he did an excellent job by finding Perry.
11:08 to play in the first half. The Texans 10, the Stallions 6. And so far, the Stallions' debut has been less than stirring.
And did you hear the hush of the crowd here? I mean, it's certainly got quiet awful quick.
No matter where you are, a long touchdown by the visitors will make a crowd get quiet in a hurry, won't it?
It sure will.
Kay Stevenson has to be happy with his defense here in the early going. There's that last drive, 5 plays, 75 yards, used up just over 2 minutes, and Archer going 46 yards to Mike Saunders for the score.
You know, interesting about that too, Scott, is on Lester Smith, okay, the speedy little free safety. Could have been a possible missed assignment.
This one drives Chris Wright back, and here's the reverse. Up to about the 33-yard line. So every kickoff so far, they've either ran a reverse or faked a reverse, and more of the same that time, as Chris Wright has been the guy getting the ball every time.
Here we go again. You see it again, Scott. They're going to This time give the ball off to him. I tell you, gadgets are good. They open a game. You can use them every once in a while, but enough's enough. Take that ball in the kickoff and take it north-south and get out of the way.
There's Bake Neil Fort. It's a slim down version. He's playing about 60 pounds lighter than he was in the Grey Cup last year.
God, what's that mean? Is that 300 now?
335. Play action, open down the middle is Reggie Perry, and he catches it. It's banged by Gerhardt after the grab, but he's up close to midfield. Going to spot it at the 53-yard line.
Well, that's a little bit of Tracy Ham, some vintage Ham. Watch him off his back foot. He's throwing this ball. Throws a perfect strike to Reggie Perry right there.
Perry lost his footing a little. She tried to plant, but still made the grab. Reggie Perry, a versatile guy, was a 2-year starter at quarterback at Southern Cal. Came into camp this year as a fullback. Played slot and wide receiver last year, so he can do it all. Tracy with some time. Now here comes the rush. Upfield, incomplete. Trying to get it to Robert Drummond.
Ham's pass intended for
the most part, you'd have to say the offensive line has done a good job. Tracy Ham has had time.
Without a doubt, Scott, I think he's had plenty of time. And I tell you, when he has been flushed, it's been after 4 seconds.
Second down, 10 Stallions.
And really, as a defensive back, when you're asking your defensive line, you really know after 3.5, 4 seconds, you're at the mercy of the receiver and the quarterback.
Second down and 10. Tracy out of the gun this time. Looking for Drummond on the short toss. He's got it, but he's well short of a first down as he gets to about the 53-yard line of San Antonio. And we'd like to wish a happy birthday to the wife of Mayor Kurt Schmoke, Patricia Schmoke. So
third down, 5.
Your new year is off to a good start.
Josh Miller comes on in punt formation.
And here is Josh Miller, who's got quite a workout here in the first half.
Marcus Gates back deep for the Texans.
On the near side with it, a good kick. Gates watches it sail out of bounds right near the 10-yard line. So a good kick from Josh Miller. Pins the Texans back on a 43-yard punt. San Antonio with a 10-6 lead takes over with 9:13 left in the second quarter.
We got a good look at Josh Miller there, and I tell you, that's a great offensive weapon if you can have a punter from around the midfield stripe, Scott, to put that ball inside the 10-yard line.
All-league punter last year. Bruce, we talk about the field dimensions, the difference between the American game and the Canadian game. 110 yards, 20-yard end zones. It puts a lot more pressure on a defense, I guess.
Oh, without a doubt. There you can see 110 yards long, 2 20-yard end zones, and 65 yards wide. That tells the real story. And here we got the NFL where you got 100 yards long. Your end zones are only 10 yards, and it's 53.5 yards wide. It's a lot of territory for those DBs to cover. That extra 13 or so yards from sideline to sideline.
So David Archer's got some work to do. He's about 100 yards away. He starts off just across the 10.
I'll tell you, I look for Archer, Scott, to come out of here with a little play action and try and get the ball deep. This is kind of like this is the play selection Archer likes. He's down inside a little bit. He's got a great play action type move. And see if he airs this ball out a little bit, tries to get out of the hole here on 1st and 10.
And don't forget, all you fans, fireworks night here at Memorial Stadium Saturday, July 22nd at 7:30. Want to mark that one down on your calendar, and tickets available. You can call 554-1040. Come on out and see the Stallions and enjoy some fireworks, even if it is after the 4th of July.
Well, most of those got rained out, so it's like the 4th of July.
Saunders gets hit hard and gets back just about to the line of scrimmage. Good penetration as they got into the backfield that time. Charles Anthony was back there.
Well, obviously, David didn't listen to me. I'm the offensive coordinator of that call, and he did the quick toss. And again, the Texans are going to have a hard time running against this front seven of Baltimore. They've been working together all year long. for 2 years now, forgive me, and they're going to be tough to run against.
6 carries, 6 yards for Saunders, so they've shut him down. And remember, he ran for 169 last week against Shreveport. 2nd and long. Archer had trouble with the snap, corrals it, hits Saunders short of the 15, breaks the tackle, gets up, but still short of a first down by about 3 yards. And here comes the punt team. I just think Kay was going to gamble down there, but we're kind of waiting for him to come on.
See, Scott, that's good. That's good defense by Rob Price and his staff that time. You're down inside there. Send 4. Make sure that Archer gets some pressure. He knows he's going to throw the football. CFL doesn't have a lot of screen and draw to it. It's not a big part of their offense. Play a little zone, make them throw it underneath, and then come up and make the good, solid tackle. If Saunders would have broken that tackle, then all that would have been for naught.
And this is Todd Jordan. Remember, he is the 13 quarterback, so at some point in this game, not here probably, he could possibly throw a good kick. Drives right back. And, oh, he gets upended. And a big tackle, and we've seen that guy flying around the field. That's Tom Gerhardt.
Boy, he's been all over the place.
42-yard punt, 3-yard return, and that might be worth another look as...
watch Gerhardt come right in your screen right here. Boom.
Helicoptered him.
Ba-boom.
So you want to return kicks, do you?
Well, look at this. Not the greatest form in the world.
Got the job done.
But certainly got the job done.
Baltimore still looking for their first touchdown. San Antonio leads at 10-6, about 7.5 minutes left in the first half. Ham on the draw to Pringle. Spins out of a tackle across midfield and to about the 53-yard line of the Texans.
Well, Scott, you know, we haven't seen much of Pringle all evening. That's his maybe 2nd or 3rd carry of the night.
Or 5th.
Or 5th, okay. But we haven't seen much of him carrying the football.
Only 7 yards on the ground for Mike Pringle.
So their running game really hasn't done anything all evening, nor have they tried to feature it. Usually by now you'd see Pringle with the ball 10, 12, 13 times.
No sustained drives. That's been the problem. Tracy gonna run it. Pump fakes at the 40, 35, cuts in and down to about the 32. That's been their best offense so far tonight. Tracy Ham tucking it in and running with it.
Oh, without a doubt. I'll tell you, the offensive line's doing a great job. Look at this. He's plenty of time looking. Now he spots the hole. Look at the athletic ability, takes off. Going to see a great block coming up here, too. Chris Armstrong.
There you see some of those guys up front that are doing the job. Nick Subis, the center. Number 63, that's John Earl. And then Big Neil Fort, 335-pounder.
Slim Neil Fort.
Big Cuz, an all-league pick last year. Here's the draw to Pringle. Fighting, keeping those legs moving, and down close to the 26-yard line. Well, we're seeing a little mix now, maybe, to keep that defense a little more honest, Bruce.
Oh, and I think it's a great idea. I tell you, the type of running back Mike Pringle is, he's so good between the tackles, Scott. A quick hitter like that, or somewhat of a delayed draw, where he's got a little time to, to get his feet going before he hits that line of scrimmage. He's a real tough kid to bring down. He's not very big, but I'll tell you, he's a load.
2nd and 4. Now Pringle shifts to the left to quarterback Tracy Ham. Ham looking near side, complete to Armstrong. Gets inside the 20. That's good for a first down. Keeps the sticks moving and keeps the drive alive. A little more crispness to this drive than we've seen.
Well, there's Coach Matthews. Not a lot of expression on him, but Tracy sees the blitz right there. Armstrong has to recognize it also. They do. Good pass to Chris, and he gets upfield.
Finally bounced out by cornerback Malcolm Frank. From the shotgun. Trip wide receiver to the left, looking down the middle, and he overthrows Armstrong. He was open, and he just threw it a little too long.
Oh, that's one I'm sure Tracy Ham would like to take back. As soon as the quarterback lets those passes like that go, Scott, they know it's not there and they want to take it back.
So now Tracy looking at his wristband there, checking his play selection. And you see how wide open Chris was.
Boy, it doesn't get any easier than that. You know, that's it. Just got to get the ball out there. Again, the offensive line doing a great job. The backs realizing blitz. It was an all-out blitz that time. Tracy had what he wanted, just couldn't execute the play.
Stallions trying to get back the lead. They trailed 10-6. 2nd and 10. And with plenty of time, he's got all day. Now here comes the rush. Gets away, gets a block from Pordanish. Now scrambling back. This looks like Tarkenton. Wide open, Clark. Touchdown. Man, he bought some time, Bruce.
It had to happen. It had to be a touchdown pass, I'll tell you what. That's the athlete Tracy Ham is, enabling him to do that. But what a great job by that offensive line.
Watch him pick up some blocks here, Bruce, as he scrambled around.
Look at him spinning. There's no penetration by the front. There we finally get some. Tracy looking. He's not done yet. Finds another move, I'll tell you.
And there is Robert Clark all by his lonesome. Clark, the 8-year pro, and there's the point after off the foot of Huerta. And Baltimore has grabbed the lead back here as we've had several lead changes here in the early going. The Stallions now lead the San Antonio Texans 13-10. Well, that was a good drive and maybe a wake-up call for the Baltimore offense. Here's the touchdown, Bruce.
Here we go again. Tracy finally rolling out. Clark got rid of his guy somewhere in the multitudes of bodies back there in the end zone. They must have been running around for 10 seconds.
That brings back memories of Fran Tarkenton or CFL memories of Doug Flutie. I mean, he just bought all kinds of time and did get a lot of help from his O-line. So Tracy Ham, who had a touchdown last week, throws his 2nd of the young season. He missed the first time, and there's Robert Clark. Robert Clark, an interesting story. Say he's the best blocker probably of the wideouts, runs the best routes, whether he's the intended receiver or not, always runs his routes to the fullest. And he spent 5 years in the NFL, caught 15 touchdowns in the other league, and has got some experience, and he's a real pro. Shows up and is ready to work every day.
And it shows. There's no doubt about it. This league with the wider field that we were talking about earlier, there's no doubt that the receivers are so an important part of this offense. They have to constantly be moving, constantly be coming back to the quarterback, realizing where Tracy likes to go, you know, if he's going to be flush, where he likes to go with it, and always be trying to shed their defender and get open.
There's Robert Clark, and watch on the replay because Clark, Bruce, you got to let your quarterback know where you are, right? When you break open, like Jimmy Orr in those old highlight films, waving to Earl Morrall.
Yeah, look at that. Throwing his arms up, saying, here I am.
Tracy didn't miss this one. He missed the one earlier when he had Armstrong, but this one just dropped it right on the numbers. That's right. They must have draw that up in the huddle on the sit. Well, when I stop at the stop sign and get over to the corner and then catch the 6th Street bus. Hit me. Yeah. Josh Miller bangs it. This is Gates. Runs into the pack and down he goes. Right around the 30-yard line, just across the 30. Where the Texans will take over a 20-yard return. 4:15 left in the first half, and now, Bruce, you get some momentum. Your offense scores a touchdown. You want to shut them down, right, if you're the Stallions. Oh, without a doubt. Get the ball back. Your defense wants to go out there. It's 3-and-out time or 2-and-out time in this league. You want to get them in a tough situation. You want to win 1st and 10. C.K. Stevens on the sideline. She's trying to figure out what he's trying to do here. Bruce, their wideouts haven't caught a pass yet. All David Archer's passes have either gone to his fullback Burse or the running back Mike Saunders, who got the touchdown. An amazing statistic. In this league especially. Throwing short, trying to get it to the wideout. It is incomplete. Ken Watson on the coverage. That was Joe Kralek, the intended wideout. They call him the human bruise. Archer says he throws his body everywhere trying to catch passes. He's always banged up and bruised, but it's a compliment. The human bruise, Joe Kralek. Big play here for Baltimore's defense if they can force a punt. Got plenty of time to get another score here with 3:46 left in the half. You're going to see more than 4 people rush this time. Down the middle, incomplete, a big hit. It's Brigance.
O.J. right in the middle of that field, playing zone, reading the quarterback eyes, got there right time the ball did, put the big bam on him.
Billy Hess was the intended receiver. He looks open, he is, but sometimes you hear footsteps too.
Oh yeah.
And shooting off the guns. So now a punting situation for the Texans. Standing back close to his 15-yard line is Todd Jordan. Back deep for Baltimore. Chris Wright, the rookie. 3:20 left in the first half. The Stallions on top, 13-10. Pressure from the side, but a pretty good punt from Jordan. Here comes Wright. Gets a good block. Cuts it up the middle, and a saving tackle right there. Because he had some room. 39 yards on the punt, 6 yards on the return.
Rob Stevenson, he saved the big play there. I'll tell you, if he didn't make that tackle, he could have been off and running.
He was just starting to accelerate, wasn't he?
Watch this. He's going to catch the ball here. He's going to see a lane. After this good block, he's got the lane, and he wants it there. If he can get by this big guy, he's off and running. Good open field tackle for the big man.
Still some good field position for the Stallions as they'll start from their own 46. Under 3 minutes now left in the half. Baltimore leads the game 13-10. And quick toss to Skinny Culver. Trying to find some room. Now he cuts cross field, picks up a block. Ham out there to block. Tracy cuts him down. 40. Culver still on his feet. And that was some kind of play with number 8, Tracy Ham, leading the blocking downfield.
I'll tell you, there we go, Tom. Gerhardt again had to make the saving tackle. But I'll tell you, speed is an amazing thing here, Scott. Watch what he takes. A little bit of nothing here. Decides to cut all the way across the field. And gets old Tracy out in front of him, and off he's going. Great blocks.
Tracy cut down the DB out there to help things along.
Here's the block on that Ham throws.
Brady Cavness will get some heat when they look at the film of that one, right? So they let the quarterback take you down. Tracy's an athlete. There's Ham with the brain trust over there. Charlie Carpenter, Steve Barato, and head coach Don Matthews, as well as backup quarterback Sean Jones.
I can see what Tracy's saying. I can imagine a little bit what Tracy's saying here. Barato's trying to tell him that he's got something, and Tracy's saying, it isn't like that. You're seeing what gestures? It's not like that, Coach. I'm telling you, they're doing something else.
12 of 18 for Ham, 142, but that's just part of the story. He's also been the Stallions' leading rusher with 55 yards, so he's got a couple of 100 yards total offense here in the first half. Robert Clark gave Baltimore the lead with a touchdown catch, and now with 2:36 left in the half, they'd like to get a little breathing room.
Well, without a doubt, that offensive staff right now is thinking some type of points. Obviously, you want 7, but you got to get in there with another 3 points to set up a great field position.
I don't think anybody in blue jerseys down there is going to be happy with 3, though. Although you say you like to get something, they're thinking 7.
Oh, without a doubt. There's no doubt about it. And I know Tracy's going to try and put the ball in the end zone every chance he can get.
And over on the other side, Archer remembers that they came from behind and won here a year ago.
You're not kidding.
And they know they're not out of the game at any point. So here we go. First down and 10. Baltimore on the San Antonio 35-yard line, leading 13-10. Fakes the handoff. Ham's got some room. Throwing downfield to Culver. Incomplete. Good defensive play back there on the coverage as it was broken up by number 26, Marcus Gates.
Boy, Marcus stayed with it all the way. Marcus looking right up, going up when the ball's up in the air. Great defensive play there.
He had an awful lot of room if Tracy wanted to run that time, too, when he turned the corner out there.
I'll tell you, great play action. Everybody down there thought the ball was handed off to Pringle. In fact, he got hit by 3 of the San Antonio Texans.
Second down and 10. Ham spinning around, trying to buy some time. Here they come, and down he goes. So a big defensive play as Tracy Ham gets sacked. A loss of 15 yards on the play.
Dropped for the loss.
Willie Fears was there. James Kings with the sack dance as they sandwich Tracy Ham. And Baltimore will be forced to punt with 2:10 left in the half.
Now see, look at that. Offensive line doing a great job, gives it some time. Now you got to throw the ball away there, Scott. Right there, you got to throw the ball away. You're in perfect field position for 3 points. You can't take the sack there. That's a bad mental mistake by Tracy Ham there.
Snap from the 50 back to Josh Miller. And he hits a good one coming to the near corner. And handling it's out of bounds on the 4.
Well, now the pressure goes right back to San Antonio. They've got to get something going, or Baltimore can get the ball back and have a chance to put some points on the board.
Seeing a couple of good coffin corner punts, and this is Gates back and right through the hands.
Had no chance with that ball, Scott. Was never in charge. But here, look at this. Josh Miller does a great job getting this one off. I don't know how that gets through.
Pressure right up the middle from Dave Harper. And here comes the veteran. Dave Archer had some big years in the NFL. Kay Stevenson, who coached in the NFL for years, said you might take the top 6 NFL quarterbacks, and after that, he said, I'd put this guy in there with anybody. There's not a defense he hasn't seen. He said he's as competitive as anybody in football, and he knows how to win. Archer rolling, firing out of his own end zone, incomplete. Just got rid of that one before he got knocked on his backside. And putting the pressure on was Grant Carter. See a beautiful night here in Baltimore. Blue skies as the sun sets.
You know, Scott, the old lady does look good, doesn't it? They've done a marvelous job here in such a short time.
Tom Matte and Joby Walt and that staff have this field looking like it hasn't in years.
Absolutely. Well, Archer again, Scott, will probably go. He's going to be in the gun. We'll see if he does the moving pocket thing like he did before. I don't think he wants to stand back there and throw the football.
Second down and 10 from his own end zone. Pressberry applying some pressure, and it's incomplete. Carter, the rush end, had dropped out on the flank and picked up the fullback, Tony Burse.
That's the versatility of these athletes. These guys that are up front, they're able to do so many different things. They're only going to be rushing 4, but at the end, Carter, if the back comes out, he's got coverage responsibilities.
And Archer has only completed 3 of his last 11. So a good job by the Baltimore defense. They get the offense the ball back with 1:42 left. And you just got to look at Jordan. He's back well up into that 20-yard end zone. This right. Back in single safety. Let's see if they go for a block. They blocked several, including one last week at BC. Look like they're coming. They do put a pretty good rush on. The short kick. And Wright comes up, gets the bounce, and probably saved them 10, 12 yards with that play.
Oh, without a doubt. I'll tell you, I thought he had a little crack there that he could have taken.
Only a 32-yard punt, an 8-yard return, and they did go after the punter that time, Bruce.
Yeah, they sure did, and that's a smart play to do it with a guy like this. But look at this. There's an opening right there if he decides not to take it. Now I can see why. Too many white shirts. From my vantage point, it looked like a good hole that just hit, put your head down, but too many white shirts there.
1:32 left. What do you got for a touchdown, Coach?
Well, I tell you, it's like the old Joe Thomas move. They said to Don McCauley when Marty Dominguez was quarterbacking. He said to Donnie, looked at him and said, what do you got for me? He said, throw a touchdown pass.
And down the middle for Armstrong. Got it. Still on his feet. Gets a block. Touchdown.
Boy, have we seen that before, Scott.
26 yards on the score. Armstrong caught it, and then he knew what to do with it, Bruce.
Without a doubt, Chris Armstrong had just run such a wonderful seam route, and this time he just was able to get the ball, a perfect strike from Tracy Ham. But you're going to see it here. It's an all-out blitz. There's 57, 58 coming. Everybody's coming. Look at that ball thrown perfectly. And Chris does it all by himself after that.
All right, Huerta on for the point after. And also on that play, Tracy Ham hung in there. There's the kick, and it's good from Carlos Huerta. So with 1:25 left to go in the half, some insurance as Baltimore's offense has come alive here in the second quarter behind that man, Tracy Ham, number 8, getting the job done. And the Stallions now look like Stallions, Bruce. They're up 20-10. Watch Ham stand in here, Bruce.
Yeah, look at him. He's seeing. He knows the blitz is coming, but he stays right there, takes it from the blind side. Stays in there, but hey, Scott, what a perfect strike he threw.
And that's the part you and I and everybody else, we look downfield when that quarterback throws the ball, but a lot of times you don't see them really taking some shots.
And Scott, let me tell you, without a doubt, you feel the pressure. You know it's coming. Don't let anybody kid you. He knows he's going to take that lick, and he stays in there and delivers the ball.
You got to give the defense some credit. They got the ball back, and the offense went right to work. 2 plays, 26 yards. It only took 7 seconds. Ham to Armstrong for the, let's see now, those two in Baltimore. This is their 27th game, I believe, 25th game, and that's the 23rd time they've connected for touchdown passes.
Well, you know what they say about this league. You blink or maybe turn your head, or God forbid you get up and go to the bathroom, you're going to miss a lot of action. That time, 7 seconds.
And here's Miller to kick it off for the Stallions. And this is Marcus Gates. Gates spins out of a tackle from Goodwin and then is forced out of bounds. Matt Goodwin upset with himself.
He sure was. Matt, again, he's a linebacker. He knows you got to wrap up. Helmet and shoulder pads just is not enough. It's not even enough in high school football anymore. I tell you, the backs are too good.
Archer, not good numbers, and he got some of that early. 5 of 13, 103, and 1 touchdown. That was to his running back, Mike Saunders. It really shut down the wideouts, Bruce.
I tell you, the cornerbacks and halfbacks of this Baltimore Stallions football club has done a great job here tonight of those wideouts.
Archer from the gun, trying to get something on the board. Quick flip to Tony Burse, and Burse, a good tackle there. O.J. Brigance put him down right on the 35. Brigance having a big first half. Had a sack earlier and has been on several tackles.
That's a perfect situation for him. He comes up and makes a perfect, picture-perfect tackle. Head and shoulders, wraps his arms up.
This is 2nd and 6. Archer, in and out of the hands. He couldn't hang on. Mike Saunders, he said he was a gifted receiver, but not that time.
Every once in a while, they hit you in the bad place.
The pause.
Right there, right in the pause. A little puppy pause. Boom.
And then you can only walk to the sidelines and hope nobody notices, right?
How did I miss that? Well, I'll tell you how he missed it. He took his eyes off the ball. He didn't watch the ball all the way into his hand.
And Todd Jordan back to punt, standing on his own 20. Chris Wright backpedaling and retreating to about the 32 on the Baltimore end of the field.
There's plenty of time for more scores by this Baltimore club.
1 minute left. 20-10, Stallions lead it. Wright steps up, takes it around the 41. Got some room right up the middle. Here he comes.
I don't think anyone's going to catch him.
Touchdown! Chris Wright is second in 2 games. And some gymnastics.
Wow. My back hurts already watching that.
71 yards for number 28, Chris Wright. 69 yards. Check that on the return. Wright, a rookie out of Georgia Southern, had a 55-yard touchdown last week, and I think they found their return man. Look at Jim Spiro smiling. Right up the middle, Bruce.
Watch this. They got a good punt, plenty of hang time. That hangs for about 3.84 seconds. Well, look at this burst of speed right there off of that one block. He sheds that, and then see you later. No one's catching this young man. And this is the best part of the play right here. Watch this.
Hello.
Oh, bingo. Floor exercise, solid 9.
9-8, 9-9, 9-7. And Huerta tacks on the point after. One more time as Chris Wright is making.
Look at a good block there, and then he sheds that one, Scott. Now watch this acceleration right here.
Played at the same college as Tracy Ham, Georgia Southern. And I think he might be in town for a while, Bruce.
Oh, no doubt about it. That's 2 in 2 weeks.
5'8", 175-pounder, a 55-yard touchdown last week. and this time brings it back 69 yards for the score.
You can see on your screen who's in the middle of the group here. The head coach talking to his kickoff team. I tell you, he doesn't want anything foolish to happen. He wants them to stay focused. That's what he's saying right now.
Don said last week after Wright ran it back for the touchdown, he came to the sideline, said he was tired. Can you get somebody out on the kick coverage? And Don said, this is the CFL. Get out there. He said, forget the celebrating. You got to go and cover a kick. There's no time to be a hero.
Oh, I can see Coach Matthews saying that, but I'll tell you.
And guess what?
He's asking to be safety, though. I'll tell you that.
Number 28 is out there on kick coverage right now. There he is.
You're right. And I'll tell you, he's trying to switch with someone because if someone's a safety out there, and he wants to be that guy right now.
But Don was saying, you know, that's part of the concentration. All right, you scored a touchdown, be happy. But the thing you got to think about right now, I'm on that kickoff return, and I got to go out there and cover a kick.
No question. Scott, there he is way out there on what they call L1. Your numbers from outside in, and those are containment guys.
And now somebody went down. The Baltimore trainers come out. Like a leg cramp, maybe.
Absolutely. We got a cramp. Someone's cramping out there.
It's like Chris Armstrong. Yeah. I mean, everybody plays special teams in this league. Small rosters. Here's your best wideout.
I tell you what, that's unbelievable. On the kick coverage team, you got your best receiver.
Tracy Ham might be out there. Better check for number 8, Bruce.
Let's see if he's out there. Wow, that's unbelievable. I would never in a million years, Scott, guess that Chris Armstrong was R4 on the kickoff return. You hit the wedge in that position.
Congratulations.
Well, that's what small rosters, and that's why coaches look for versatility, because you have to do a lot of things in this league.
Boy, I'll say.
One more time, a look at that electrifying return from Chris Wright, and this time we'll take a look at it in regular speed, Bruce.
Row 16.
Not bad, a pretty good highlight shot. And there's Chris Wright, one happy rookie. He's not a rookie anymore. He's an experienced veteran.
You know what? Maybe Chris Armstrong did that for his buddy over there.
Bought some time?
Bought some time.
You never know. Short kick. Cross the 30. Some room. Penalty marker down. And finally, Marcus Gates goes down.
And guess who makes the tackle?
Chris Wright.
I tell you, I wouldn't doubt it if Chris Armstrong did that.
Somebody's going to come up to Chris Wright and say, hey, can we play too?
Yeah.
There's a block from behind. There's the penalty.
Yeah, it looks like on Malcolm Goodwin right there.
Matt Goodwin, I think it was 30.
You're right.
Too many Goodwins wins. We've got an injured player over on the far side of the field. One of the Texans getting
illegal block. Number 29, San Antonio. First down.
Penalty call was against Phil Brown there with that block from behind on Matt Goodwin. And the injured player is Phil Brown. Brown, by the way, is a pretty valuable running back for the Texans. Last week, he came in the fourth quarter as they gave Mike Saunders a rest and had a big game. He rushed for 81 yards and 11 carries, all in the fourth quarter, including a 45-yard touchdown. So you hate to see anything serious happen to him because he'll be an integral part of the San Antonio offense. Looks like he's all right.
Well, Scott, talking about last week, this San Antonio ball club was tied 17-17 at halftime and came back and just blew the Pirates away. The Shreveport Pirates scored like 34 unanswered points.
Now, you've run a few punts back and kickoffs back. What's that feeling when you know you're going to get there? It must be a rush of adrenaline.
It certainly is, and for me it was a major rush because I was so afraid someone from behind was going to tackle.
You weren't there till you were there, right? Little flip out to Tony Burst. The fullback runs out of a tackle and struggles for a few more yards, but short of a first down. And now some pushing and shoving. Matt Goodwin gets hooked up with somebody. Only 32 seconds left in the half. The Stallions have exploded. They trailed here in the fourth quarter, 10-7, but they've exploded for 3 touchdowns. Archer, short toss, complete. Just enough for the first down. They finally got it to a wideout. Billy Hess, the first completion to a wide receiver in the half. Everything has gone to the running backs, either Saunders or Burse.
That is amazing. That's got to say something for this Baltimore defensive backfield. Just doing a great job shutting out the wideouts.
See the time left in the half. Some pressure. Now Archer steps up. Down the middle, and it is complete. Across the 50. Grab made by Joe Kralik, the human bruise. 20 yards on the pickup.
Stop by Ken Watson.
12 seconds left in the half. 27-10.
From the 51.
Baltimore on top of San Antonio. Archer sacked. They got him from behind, and wrapping him up was Schwack. Alfred Payton, number 56. To be on your right-hand side of the screen here as you check out the replay.
There he comes, just beating him with that quickness. We've seen both of the linebackers been able to do that, and Alfred Payton was a big, intricate part of this defense when we required him last year.
There's Alfred with the helmet off, had a full training camp. There's the injured Phil Brown going in with halftime nearly here. They'll check him out. But Alfred Payton led the league in sacks in '93. 22 sacks, came over here in midseason from Shreveport last year, and now he's had a full camp, knows the guys around him, and he should be a terror on that defense.
Oh, no question. I mean, he really made the Baltimore defense what it actually became, because that defensive unit certainly came into its own the second half of last season and enabled Tracy's offense to do everything they were able to do, with just giving them field position after field position. And it'll be because Alfred Payton solidified that front four.
Alfred with some pretty good football roots, played his college ball for Eddie Robinson at Grambling. 5 seconds left. Probably the last play of the half. Archer throwing far sideline, and it's caught over there. Nice grab by Kralik. Time shows no time left, and that's the end of the half. So a second half explosion by the Baltimore offense, and Ken Watson looks like he's a little slow. May need some help over on the far sideline. But Baltimore leads at 27-10, Bruce.
It looks like because of this night that a lot of guys are cramping up. I mean, he's pulling at his hamstring a little bit. Didn't seem to be a possible hamstring type injury just coming over there. You never really know, but I think some of the guys got to get a little bit more fluid in them if it's possible.
27-10, the halftime scores. The Stallions head in for their halftime break. We'll return to Memorial Stadium right after this. They have a 27-10 halftime lead. Scott Garceau and Bruce Laird with you, and here we go as Josh Miller puts the foot to it. On the return, that's Marcus Gates. Gates with a little opening, and he gets it up across the 40 to about the 41.
Tripped up by Malcolm Goodwin.
26-yard return. Here are your first half stats. Baltimore with a slight edge in first downs. Look at the rushing yards. Only 8 yards, Bruce, for San Antonio. Passing just about even. Total yards a little advantage to Baltimore, and about almost 4 minutes in time of possession.
Time of possession, but look at that glaring thing. 68 yards to 8 rushing the football. And I said earlier in the broadcast, Scott, that it'd be hard for them to rush well against this Baltimore club, but no idea they could only gain 8 yards.
So if they only rushed for 8 yards and their wide receivers didn't catch any balls until the last minute or two, you see the problem with the offense.
You sure do.
Last week now, they were really running the football against Shreveport. Saunders with 169, Phil Brown 81, 278 yards on the ground. So it tells you that the way the Baltimore defense is stuffing the run here so far tonight.
And also it shows that they're the total of 34 carries. They knew they were moving the ball on the ground and decided to go ahead and go with it.
And their lead running back right now, Mike Saunders, is down as the trainer comes out to check him out. David Archer, who was just standing over, checking on his kind of bread and butter on the ground. Mike Saunders, who rushed for over 1,200 yards last year with Saskatchewan. And we throw around numbers like 1,200, Mike Pringle 1,900, Bruce, but the year before that, the CFL did not have a 1,000-yard rusher. It is a passing league, and perhaps the Mike Pringles have made it easier for guys in the future, because I think Don Matthews and the Baltimore offense last year showed, yes, you can run the ball in 3-down football.
Oh, no doubt. In talking to the commissioner last year, I asked him, I mean, how the CFL, through its development, was it always a passing league? He said no, by no stretch of the imagination. And then the start of it, and just up until 10 years ago, a lot of people ran the football, and they did it successfully. So just because, you know, you have people going in motion and you can use 4 or 5 wide receivers and the field is wider, doesn't mean that you can't get a good offensive line, which is number 1, and get a good running game going.
Saunders on his feet, not much for him, 7 and 8. The big play in the first half came from Chris Wright, the rookie, who took a punt return 69 yards. Baltimore had jumped out to a 20-10 lead, and then right here on this play, Wright busts one right up the middle, Bruce, and really gave Baltimore a lift.
That's right, the good block there, then he sheds the tackle, and then I'll tell you what, as we say, speed kills, and off he's going. No one's going to catch him.
So here come the Texans with David Archer at the wheel. Pump fake, flips it off to Burst. Across midfield into Baltimore territory at about the 54-yard line. Good for a first down. Matt Goodwin on the tackle. Tony Burst is a load, isn't he, Bruce? You wouldn't have fun tackling him all night.
No, not at all. I'll tell you what, if you don't wrap up, it's not going to get the job done. But again, Baltimore comes with a 3-man rush. They're playing a little zone behind it. That's what you want to do when you got a point lead like this total 17-point lead. No need to do anything crazy right off the bat. Make them throw the ball underneath, come up and make the good solid tackle.
And straight ahead, it's Burst on the ground this time. Only got about 3 as he's tackled at the Baltimore 50-yard line. Next week, it is back to San Antonio as these two teams play back-to-back games. That'll be Saturday night. The next home game here in Baltimore, Winnipeg Blue Bombers will be in on Saturday the 22nd. But I think 4 times, we talked to Larry Smith, the commissioner, about that. 4 times this year they play teams back-to-back, and that's never easy. It's not like baseball where you play a 3-4 game series. Archer, good time on the break. Incomplete. Trying to get it to Billy Hess. And stride for stride was Ken Watson.
I'll tell you, they've been testing Ken Watson most of the evening. That's the 3rd or 4th time we've seen them try to go over the top, either with a corner pattern or a go. Here we see Kenny again, right on the receiver's back.
Jordan on a punt formation.
Stride for stride with him.
For the Stallions.
So a 27-10 game. Your defense holds them on the first possession, and that's what you want to see if you're Don Matthews. And there he is, back to return the punt. Chris Wright. 2 touchdowns in 2 games on returns. And let's see if Jordan. Oh, way over the head of Jordan. And here comes Watson after him. Ball still loose. Finally picked up by Gerhardt, and down he goes. Baltimore's ball all the way back on the San Antonio 22 or 23-yard line. Oh, a terrible snap, Bruce.
Wow, that long snapper really made that one go long, didn't he? Watch this thing take off. A sailor.
Needed an elevator for that one. 38-yard loss on the play.
It'll be 1st and 10.
And his heart wasn't really in picking up that ball, I think.
Now with Kenny Watson barreling down on you, Ken made the smart play, just tried to knock the ball, keep it alive.
There's Rob Stevenson, number 60, on the bench, and he says, I think I'm going to work on my long snaps come Monday.
Whoa.
Now you're really trying to bang on the door and flatten them right here with a touchdown if you're Tracy Ham and that Baltimore offense.
Again, the brain trust, as we said, out there on the field again with Tracy, trying to pick up some things that they can do to hurt him quickly.
Baltimore Football Club would like to thank the following companies for participating in the Business Booster Program. Park Sausage, C.W. Amos and Company, Test and Balancing Inc., Champion Concrete, The Barn Crab House, Machine Tool Associates, Samet Electric, and Tony Kelly Used Cars. Some of the people helping the Baltimore Stallions, and they ask you to please support the businesses who support the team. 27-10. Ham's got them in the huddle, and that's pretty good field position when you're starting on the other team's 23-yard line.
Go, Mino! Go, Mino!
Here you see some of the home schedule coming up. This is the home opener. Winnipeg, Memphis, Toronto, and Birmingham coming up. And there's the number to call to pick up your seats here at Memorial Stadium. 554-1040. Pringle, the lone running back. Fakes to Pringle. Ham setting up. Now flips out to Tuipulotu, but the pass behind him incomplete.
Tracy again, who wants that one back. Again, the offensive line all evening long doing a great job of protecting Tracy Ham. He's had plenty of time to look. He can't find his first receiver, looking for a second. Here it is. Good play action fake. Holds the linebacker. Mike picks him up again. Plenty of time there. Just threw this behind Peter, who has wonderful hands. Tough ball for Peter to catch.
2nd and 10. 3 wideouts to the right-hand side. Ham, penalty marker down, runs out of some traffic, but now he gets clotheslined in there. Hammerlock put on him, and down he goes. He
got stuck in there, didn't he? He got it behind one of his offensive linemen and one of their defensive linemen. He just wedged in there.
Check out, see if you can find the holding here. Flag down. Might be right there.
Right there.
Little jersey.
Yep.
Sharp or Donish.
Holding. Baltimore, number 68. Penalty is declined. Third down.
Call against the
They'll
Stallions.
take the sack and decline the penalty, so that means it's Huerta time as Carlos Huerta's in.
On in field goal formation.
There we see on the left part, there's Shaw pulling the jersey down. Voted one of the best offensive linemen in the league last year. Very rarely do you see Sharp or Donish making any kind of mistakes like that.
Davis, the snapper here. Dan Crowley will hold, and Huerta from 38 yards gets it up, and it is good. He sneaks it inside the right upright, and that'll extend the Baltimore lead to 30-20 as they score the first points here in the second half. Little man with a big foot, Carlos Huerta, 5'8", and that might be stretching at 175.
He is not tall in stature, but he certainly has a great right leg.
Huerta was the... San Antonio had a 10-6 lead, and this one's going to go out of bounds. So Josh Miller had a little trouble with that last week. He hasn't kicked off that much, has a strong leg, but the direction sometimes needs work.
It looked like he wanted to get a little bit more into that one, Scott, and in doing so put a lot of spin on it.
Don Matthews just signaled into him what he wants him to do with the next one. Now, most of the kickoffs, Don Matthews wants direction. He wants them to pin the other return men into a corner, and sometimes when you do that, you're playing with those sidelines, and you just miss it a little bit, you're out of bounds.
There's no question, and as you say, Don wants that ball inside the numbers, and there's not a lot of room inside the numbers.
Kay Stevenson looking for something that's going to work. Hasn't been able to find it.
I tell you, David Archer has gone ice cold, as he probably has not completed but a couple short passes for most of the second quarter and the start of this second half.
We should point out, too, that Baltimore playing without the MVP in last year's Grey Cup, Carl Anthony, who suffered a knee injury. He's been lost for the season, and they're going to miss him. Marcus Gates, takes a hit, stays on his feet, and nearly lost the football, goes down around the 35.
Marcus Gates on
that big bang came from Elvin Walton, but he couldn't finish him off.
No, he wasn't able to get his arms wrapped around it, but I tell you, Alvin's the captain of special teams, been around a long time, very emotional ball player, and keeps those guys really going hard on those special teams.
And a Texan getting some treatment. Injured players, the man who returned the football, Marcus Gates.
And no one brings it to you better than the End Zone, Baltimore's premier football magazine. Catch all
there you see some of the defensive players. Tracy Grab, but Baltimore was certainly the hottest house in the CFL last year. 7 of the top 10 crowds in the league. You see some of the numbers. We're right here at Memorial Stadium. And 42,000 for that Sacramento game. And the fans really got behind this team, Bruce, in the first year. I think a lot of people wondered what the CFL game was about. They didn't know any of these players. This year they know who Tracy Ham is, and they know who Mike Pringle and O.J. Brigance are. So there's a little better identity, even though they've only had a name for a day.
That's true, but under mostly his own power.
There's a guy the Baltimore fans know who he is this year, Mike Pringle.
San Antonio from
his
their own
record-setting
36.
rushing last year. 1st and 10 from the 36. Archer with some pressure. Penalty marker down, throwing deep. Nobody home. Nobody downfield. Incomplete.
And that's coming back, Scott. We're going to have a holding penalty here.
Get the flag down on the play.
That's the call, holding against the Texans. Look at Archer checking out his wide receiver, Kralik, saying, hey, human bruise, you were supposed to turn that upfield, not out.
That's right. I'll tell you, David's the type of football player, too, if it
Number
continues
59,
like this.
San Antonio. 1st down.
If it continues like this, he'll have no qualms about getting in his players' face and letting them know that they're not doing their jobs. Burt Jones was a lot like that here in Baltimore, Scott. A lot of people thought he was a little bit of a prima donna, but Burt just was very vocal about players not doing what they were supposed to do.
There you see the penalties, 3 against San Antonio for 30 yards, Baltimore 4 for 25. 1st and 20 after the holding call. Archer, good protection that time, throws to the far sideline, and it is caught. Good grab out there by Joe Kralik. 15 yards on the pickup.
To Joe Kralik.
Kralik
Run out of bounds by Irvin Smith.
gets after the ball, 5'11", 190-pounder out of Washington.
Look at that ball, perfect spiral, great catch there on Irvin Smith.
Check out the feet, Bruce.
Right, look at that. Right in the hands. 1. All you need. 1 down.
2nd and 5. Firing complete at the 50, runs out of a tackle, and the tackle by Tracy Gravely. Pass was completed to Mark Stock.
Tracy Gravely
Throwing it up the field a little better now. 17 yards on that pickup.
Yeah, David can still do it. He can still put the ball on the money with some good velocity. And that time finding his seam in the zone.
All right, here's the look coming right at you with our end zone camera. When you're down 30-10, you got to start putting it upfield. Running to the near side for a 1st down and out of bounds. That's Mike Saunders. He left injured earlier, but he looked pretty healthy on that play. 13-yard gain, Bruce.
Well, again, I think this is the type of thing that Coach Matthews and the whole staff want to get together and say, hey, listen, guys, it's not over till it's over. Let's not play, let's not get complacent here. Let's continue with intensity. It looks like the Baltimore defense playing a little catch right now. They're not getting off the ball. They're not getting off the blocks as well.
San Antonio 1st down and 10 on the Baltimore 33. Harrison Saunders in the backfield. He's looking deep. Throwing downfield, and it is incomplete. On the coverage was Courtney Griffin. The intended receiver, Billy Hess.
And Courtney Griffin taking the place of all CFL. Carl Anthony has not really been tested. That's the first time we've seen Archer go his way tonight. And Courtney did a super job with him. Stayed right with him, stride for stride.
Football player stopped into the booth, who's getting ready to go to camp. Punter for the St. Louis Rams, Sean Landetta.
My man, Sean.
Good to see you.
How are you, buddy?
Along with his agent, Mr. Tony Agnone, keeping a close eye on him.
You got to keep a close eye on Sean.
Downfield, Kralik open. Oh, thought he lost possession. Nope. One ruled the catch, but the other said incomplete. Good job by the off official, Bruce, because I think his back shielded him, and Kralik didn't have the football. The first official on the scene ruled a catch.
Joe Kralik. There's a flag on the play. Offside to call against the
It's a no catch, I believe. Watch it again. Get a good angle here. See, the ball came right out.
Right out.
Now that official right there called it a catch, but the official in back of the play made the right call, saw him lose possession.
Baltimore number 57. Second down repeated.
So no catch, but an offside called against O.J. Brigance, and a 5-yard penalty assessed to the Stallions.
Second down, 5, San Antonio.
Second down and 5. They can't be thinking about 3 here, Bruce. Down 30 to 10. They got to get it in the end zone.
No, they certainly do. And I tell you, Archer's been throwing that corner route extremely successful in this third quarter.
Good protection. Down the middle. What a hit. It's good for a first down, but Lester Smith unloaded on him, Bruce. That reminded me of Bruce Laird.
Well, thank you. He certainly put a heck of a lick on him. And I tell you, Lester read his eyes tremendously well. Got there just a little bit sooner, would have jarred the ball loose. Here it is. Watch this concussion. Bang.
Ouch. Lester excited, but it is a first down, and the drive is still alive. But quite a hit as the free safety, Lester Smith, came up and finished off the receiver right there. Draw play. Saunders keeping the legs going, but short gain on the play, just 2 yards, down to the 10. 8:15 to play in the third quarter. Baltimore leads San Antonio 30 to 10. They had a 24-point second quarter to open up a 27-10 halftime lead.
This is where the Stallion defense has really got to dig in here. Big down for them. 2nd and 8. They know they're in 3-down territory with this lead. They want to maintain some good defensive positions here.
Archer rolling near side. Firing, incomplete, and we've got a penalty marker down. They got Courtney Griffin for interference as he was battling for the football. Intended receiver was Mark Stock. What'd you think, Bruce?
Well, he got his arm out there, and anytime you get your arms out and it looks like you're pulling at each other right there in front of the official, it's a hard one for them not to call, Scott.
Interference. Baltimore.
See if we can see it here when they...
First down.
See, he had his right arm tied up right there.
Yeah.
Replay, and there's the flag coming into your picture. Don Matthews checking things out.
He's working that gum over tonight, Don is.
Robert Davis comes in on the goal line situation. This is Saunders, and he's in for the touchdown. For Saunders with a second touchdown of the game. He caught a pass for a score in the first half, and now it's a 30-16 game with the point after to come up. Kay Stevenson feeling a little better as his offense keeps him in the game. They really needed to score on that drive, Bruce.
Yes, they did. They needed to get back in this ball game. They weren't just going to go and lay down. And I'll tell you, Archer threw those corner routes that we talked about earlier extremely well that whole drive.
So Mike Saunders with 3 touchdowns in the young season walks off. And Roman Anderson out of the hole to Jim Kemp. Knocks it through. So now it's a 30-17 game, and I'm sure over on the Kay Stevenson side of the field, they're thinking about we came back and won one here last year, so let's keep working hard.
Believe me, that was a big part of his conversation, I'm sure, at halftime, reminding this club that we've been down before.
You played about 14 years yourself, so you know how it flies by.
And he had to tackle people.
He sure did. I remember going out to Towson State and having Sean punt me a few just so I could see if I could still do it, but yeah, it does go by fast, buddy, and I've always told you, let them tear their jersey off you, pal.
You're right about that.
All right, here's the kickoff. Roman Anderson banging it down to Chris Wright. And here we go, another reverse. Nope, fake reverse. Wright still with it, turning it up the sideline. 30, he's got a seam. Back outside and finally down near the 50-yard line. Sean, thanks for coming by, and good luck with the Rams this year.
Thanks very much, Scott.
Good to see you, Sean.
Our favorite punter, number 5. 37 yards on that. Well, Bruce, you said scrap that stuff, but I'm not so sure the coaching staff's going to listen to you. It seems to be working.
I don't think so. Every time they've run it, they've made big gains with it. And I think they've run it every time. Coach Matthews got to be very happy with the way kickoff returns have gone this week.
Problem is you got to play this team against next week. I think they'll have a week to work on this and say, hey guys, stay in your lanes.
No doubt about it.
Okay, Baltimore back with the ball, 30-17. Pringle, little roll, fumble, it's loose. Let's wait, a big pile.
Mike Pringle, the ball carrier.
First indication is Baltimore, although all the Texans pointing the other way. What's going on at the bottom of that pile, Bruce? You've been there. I
tell you what, they're grabbing at that ball. They're punching at each other. They're talking about certain things and gnawing. Someone maybe biting someone's heel.
Check it out. This one flew right up in the air. Was there for the taking.
8 of 5 yards on the play. Second down, 5.
Got a helmet, looks like.
Sure was, coming in from the other side after 55 hit him. Then someone put the helmet right on the ball. Big break there. Old Neil Fort got him.
Second down and 5. Down the middle, it's complete to Perry. First down. That's a big play. Keeps the drive alive. 5:55 left in the third quarter, and now Baltimore trying to regain some momentum after San Antonio scored the touchdown.
Well, you certainly, I mean, as we all know about this game, you can't lay down. I mean, it's not over till it's over. The fat lady's not singing about anything right now. I mean, this is, there's plenty of time left in this football game. That offense has got to go out there and dominate that defensive ball club.
13 yards on the toss from Ham to Perry. Culver to the near side. Pringle with a penalty marker down. Short gain up the middle, just got a couple of yards, and we'll wait on the penalty flag.
I think with Tracy's cadence and then the blitzing situation that we saw there is probably going to be an offsides against San Antonio.
James King on the stop. There are flags down on the field.
But I haven't been right about much with the officials so far, Scott.
Well, here's George Black. He'll let us know.
Offside, San Antonio, number 57. First down repeated.
Hawkeye, you had it all the way. That was Tim Walton, the middle linebacker, and then you said stepping up on that blitz and a little too anxious, right?
You betcha.
So first and 5. Pitch to Pringle. Cuts it back inside, fights and gets down close to the first down marker, just a little short.
Mike Pringle
picked up 3 on the play. It'll be second and 2.
See this? They got 4 wide receivers to the short side of the field. He's trying to get out and behind old Big Mike Withicum.
That's a 300-pounder hustling out there. Don't you love it when you're a DB and come up and see that guy coming around the corner at you?
And especially he's a theater major in college. He does voices and everything else.
Pringle really never got it going too well, but he's up close to the marker. Only needed 2. And the official
on the carry.
May have to bring in the sticks on this one. George Black taking a look at the far sideline. He says first down. So Pringle gets the first down. Close to the 30-yard line. May be ready for some play action here as they're putting it on the ground a little more.
Lead block Peter to Pluto, and then Mike just trying to find any room he had. Didn't have anything there and just kind of leaned his way, lost his footing, dove for the first down yardage.
Reggie Perry, Tui Paluto, and Clark all to the right side. On the ground again. Pringle, not much going on. They smacked him in a hurry. Tim Walton doing the dance.
Whoa, and I'll tell you what, that one hurt. Big old Tim Walton, 250-pound middle linebacker, put a little hurting on Mike Pringle that time.
Second down, 10.
Walton out of Ball State. He's only 6 feet tall, but 250 wide. And
watch this. That's called helmet to helmet.
No gain on that last play. Second and 10.
Blitz, blitz.
Tracy, good time in the pocket, firing complete to Clark. First down, down close to the 15-yard line. 15 yards on the pass.
Robert Clark doing it all tonight for the Baltimore Stallions. He's been an intricate part of the second receiving core.
Got a touchdown in the second quarter. Big first down there to keep this drive alive. 3:10 to play in the third quarter. It's a 30-17 Baltimore lead. San Antonio 1-0. They won their opener against Shreveport, while Baltimore lost a tough one 37-34 at BC in a rematch of last year's Grey Cup. Ham to Pringle. Mike trying to get outside. Turns the corner, 5, head down, just short of the goal line. And boy, that was a determined run.
That's all Mike Pringle. You notice that he had that dip in there and took it outside with his speed.
14 yards on the gain, Bruce.
Kind of a delay counter, trying to foul nothing out. He outruns the linebacker here. Now here's Mike Pringle. This is vintage Mike Pringle. Don't go out of bounds. No way. I'm going to put my head down and deliver a blow.
And he delivered a blow to Tommy Smith, the linebacker. First and goal. This is Pringle trying to get over the top. He didn't make it. Good penetration by the front of the Texans defense.
Mike Pringle over the top.
Walton again in there, Bruce.
Walton.
Look at that. Good penetration by San Antonio's line.
No gain on the play.
Made that all happen. They won the battle of the line of scrimmage that time.
Somebody penetrated down low, and then Walton came up over the top to clean up.
No doubt about it. Very difficult to do that, Scott, with that yard that they allow you. You can't get within that yard.
You have to play a yard off the ball defensively in the CFL. Ham fakes, bootleg, and he's in. He can trot it.
That's called walk the dog.
Tracy Ham, he's thrown for 2, and now he's run for 1.
No flag.
Oh, you make it look so easy.
Good call down there, too. That's good execution.
Smart football right here. Look at that. He fooled the linebacker. Coming in there trying to close down Collins.
Roosevelt didn't stay home. He was after Pringle, and Ham said, see you later.
Oh, without a doubt. Now you see me, now you don't.
36-17, Carlos Huerta, point after, up, it's good. And it's back to a 20-point lead. So they answered the San Antonio touchdown, and now that lead just a little bit more comfortable. There goes Ham, lonely.
All by his onesies. You could, here we go. Ham for tonight, 6 rushes for 56 yards, 9.3 yard average. That's what we were talking about earlier. If Tracy can keep those feet going and stay healthy, when he can't find the first or second receiver and puts that ball under his arm and goes, they're going to be tremendously successful as an offensive ball club this year.
Ham, total offense, 252 yards. He's passed for 2 touchdowns.
Goes there, you're supposed to loop over here, and but what? Then see that like there. Well, what if he does that? Well, if he does that, you got to do this.
And a lot of times while they're doing this, you'll notice the linemen looking over at the cheerleaders.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, here comes another one of those spiral knuckleball kicks. Oh, you better get on it, and he finally does. Brady Cavness, a 1-yard return, because his body rolled about a yard.
Josh Miller may patent that kind of kickoff. A kickoff punt.
Cavness covers the kickoff.
Starts as a kickoff and then turns into a punt.
Don Matthews waiting for him on the sideline.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna believe me, he's going to get a little earful there.
He gave him the program on the butt.
Yeah.
First and 10 for San Antonio.
So they got them pinned back fairly deep in their own territory as the Texans start 1st and 10 on the 27. Archer's got some work to do if he's going to pull this one out. He rallied his team, Sacramento, last year. Oh, and rushing down he goes. A sack as Grant Carter.
Well, Carter, Grant Carter's. Hey, he sounds great both ways, doesn't he?
He can play either end with that name, right? A 9-yard loss on the sack. Watch him.
Here he is. It looks like he's going to give him an inside move. Absolutely. Oh, now you see me, now you don't. There's another one of those.
Third sack for the Stallions. O.J. Brigance had one. Carter.
You see that? O.J.'s got them all doing this gun thing. Carter was real good with those holstering. He holstered those arms in there.
Loss of 9. Here they come on 2nd and 19. Under some pressure, Archer gets out of it. But he's not going to get the first down. Brigance, oh, now we got a flag down. Let's see what that's about. Archer gets up and pats O.J. Brigance.
They're going to get O.J. for flopping on.
Dave Archer, the ball carrier, stopped by.
Be interesting to see the replay on this one. Here comes the veteran. Here comes O.J. and boy, he didn't give him a shot. He did kind of lay on him.
Just kind of flopped on. That's a flop-on penalty, as they would say.
Fans
they're
like
still running. I mean, what's O.J. going to do?
Is that where he asked him?
Put a skirt on.
I was going to say, that was the next line. Put a skirt on.
You're going to run, you're supposed to get hit.
Unnecessary roughness we call.
So that's a kind of costly penalty, too, because it gives him a first down.
Fans don't like it either.
20 seconds left in the third quarter. Saunders, flag down. And he gets run out of bounds by Charles Anthony.
Mike Saunders
lost 3 on the play and a penalty besides.
There's a flag.
Is that a make-up call there?
Possibly so, but that's another holding penalty. When you see that flag go in the middle of all the beef, it's not a tough one to call.
Holding. San Antonio, number 60. Penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Rod Stevenson, number 60, who had that errant snap earlier on.
Second down 13 for San Antonio from their
now
own
2nd and 13.
line.
From the gun. He's nearly picked off by Goodwin and then almost caught. Matt Goodwin almost had a pick.
They're looking for him now.
And there's the gun ending the third quarter. So the Stallions outscore them 10-7 in the third, and that's something to cheer about because Baltimore's on top of this one 37-17. To cheer about for the home team as they debut as the Stallions here at Memorial Stadium tonight. Got Garceau and Bruce Laird with you. And after a 3-3 first quarter, Bruce, Baltimore has opened it up.
Who would figure, huh, Scott? We thought it'd be a real defensive battle. Neither of the offenses had really done anything. Kind of seeing which way the defense wanted to play them. There's the man of the hour right there, number 28, Chris Wright. 5 returns, 96 yards, 1 for 69 yards and a touchdown.
And a double backflip on the score, right?
My back still hurts watching that move. I'm going to go back home and ice it tonight.
This is Kai Jordan, the punt for San Antonio. Good snap and a short punt. Terrible kick out of bounds. That looked like a shank.
It sure did.
Well, that's one way to keep it out of Chris Wright's hands.
No doubt. I'm sure he's been told to kick it to the sidelines and put some air under it.
24 yards only of air on that one.
Yeah, that's certainly not one of his best this evening.
You know, nobody would say it publicly, but there were some people disappointed with that first loss because privately there were some people connected with this team that thought they might be able to win them all this year. And then you find out what reality is, right?
Oh, that's right. As Coach Matthews says, he believes his team should go out there emotionally prepared to win every game. That's wonderful philosophically, but it's just never going to happen.
There's only one Miami Dolphin team, right, that went through undefeated.
And no doubt.
Too much time, I think, to call there. See if we've got to delay a game. Tracy Ham kind of pleading his case. There's the...
Tracy looking his arms up in the air. You know he's saying, no one even told me we were starting. Come on, guys. How do I know I'm supposed to start if you don't tell me to start?
Sound like you've been down there.
Oh, yeah, I can understand.
Yelling at these guys.
Well, you kind of discuss things, you know.
There is no foul on the play.
We goofed
the
up.
The 20-second clock was not operating.
You were right again, Bruce Laird.
Geez, I tell you, I'm getting awful hot at this referee stuff.
We might get you a striped shirt.
Oh, I got one already.
So it's still first down and 10. No penalty, no delay of game. Pringle, the only running back, and takes the pitch to the near side. Cuts it back to the middle, and a short gain on the play. Got across the 50 to about the 51 or 52.
On the carry.
And if you think that sounds crazy, football fans, there is a 55-yard line in the CFL game because you're playing with a 110-yard field, and it takes some of us Americans a little something to get used to, saying down on the 53-yard line.
It really does. You say what? No, that's right. We have it.
There's the 55.
There it is, the 55-yard line.
20-yard end zones, 110 yards long. The field to play. 2nd and 7. And the throw. Near side to Armstrong, complete. Think he had enough for the first down and was driven back. They mark it right at the 50, and that'll be good for a first down.
Kenny Wilhite on the tackle, on the 25.
Kenny Wilhite on the coverage.
You see Don, no matter what it was, he's saying go. That little program he's got.
Skinny Culver a little late getting back to the huddle. He was way downfield. Tonight's attendance, well, Jim Sparrow said he was hoping for 30,000.
Just made it, it looks like. 31,016. And we thank you. Aren't you supposed to say that?
Absolutely. Always be polite. Pringle not too polite from that defense as they were banging him around, and a loss on the play as Mike is driven out of bounds right in front of the Baltimore bench.
It looks like Baltimore's offensive philosophy, Scott's changed a little bit. They're trying to set up the passing game by running the football.
Keep that clock moving a little, I guess, when you got a 37-17 lead.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Now limping off. Looked like Neil Fort coming down.
The big one, the great one, and Brigham Young.
I know it's just early in the second season, but Neil had not missed a snap in a regular season or postseason play. And let's hope he's just cramping up a little bit, because, boy, they can't afford to lose that big guy. All-league tackle, Neil Fort. Drop play. Pringle got room. Down to about the 44-yard line. That's about 3 or 4 yards short of a first down. Neil Fort getting some attention on his knee, apparently.
Brings up
well, what Dr. Gertz is probably doing here, he's looking right at the top of the patella of the kneecap.
Carlos,
see him squeezing that thing. He just wants to make sure there's no real ligament damage. It probably could be just a bruise. It's the first thing they want to look at. And as you see, he's already taped up a little bit there already, so he may have had some tenderness there or was hit last week. So he's already protected somewhat.
And now we're going to have a 52-yard field goal attempt by Carlos Huerta. Hasn't missed tonight. 11:35 left in the fourth quarter. 37-17. High snap. Good job by Crowley to get it down. And it is good. 51 yards.
Iggy who?
Boy, a good job by Towson State's Dan Crowley. Watch if we see a replay. That snap was upstairs and Crowley spotted it, and Huerta took care of the rest.
There it was, Scott, as you called it again, another high snap. Dan Crowley with the good hands, getting that ball and being able to put it down and turn those laces for the kicker. Ever so important, especially from long distance.
40-17 now. The Stallions on the ride here and riding hard on the Texans.
And I'll tell you, and he needed a big night here in front of the hometown fans. He really did.
4 of 4 with a long of 51, a new franchise record for the regular season. Archer down the middle, got a man open and couldn't catch the football.
Well,
Pass
Scott,
with Myron Wise on the receiving end, not able to bring it in.
I'll tell you, those guys right now down there on the defensive side of the ball are thinking about making big plays. Watch this, Archer throwing the ball. This ball should have been caught right there.
Not a great pass, but you got to catch him. There's the secondary. Archer on 2nd down and 10. Little flip to Burst. Tony Burst trying to run out of a tackle, can't do it because O.J. Brigance helps finish him off. Tracy Gravely made the initial hit.
Stopped by O.J.
You know, that's the worst feeling in the world when you get there. You got to come up and you got to break down because you can't be out of control, and you guys got to sit there and take that beating as the back runs over you.
Through the first 3 quarters, San Antonio only 32 yards on the ground.
Well, my prediction did come true there. I thought it would be very difficult for the San Antonio team to run on the Stallions, and they certainly have had a major problem with that.
Jordan to punt, Chris Wright back to return, standing on his own 30. Far sideline this time, and Wright got a tiptoe over there, and he's out of bounds.
What a great punt.
No return on those kind, 39 yards, and it's all net. 10:22 left to play. Check it down there for Neil Fort to see how he's doing.
31-yard line.
We'll check that offensive line for you.
CFL action. It's Hamilton's 31.
I don't see him on the bench right now, Scott.
Third quarter.
Well, they may have taken him 3:15 out of Western Illinois. And when they sit down at the family table, Mom had better do some cooking.
That thing tilts, doesn't it? Can you imagine that? They had to eat family style.
And all the way at quarterback. Under center this time.
Here comes the dog.
And here comes Pringle. Right through the middle. Oh, he just was about a step away from breaking a big one. Got about 8 on the play.
Scott, we're going to see more and more 1st and 10 blitzes out of the San Antonio club. They have to make something happen defensively, and that's the only way you can do it. You're not going to be able to get away. Well, here we go, that counter delay type of thing. Mike almost breaks it. Again, just trips himself up. Especially in a blitz. If Mike Pringle gets a little room, he can go all the way.
Well, San Antonio expected to be the team to challenge Baltimore, if anybody can, in the Southern Division, and tonight it's been pretty much all Stallions, and Pringle's short gain may not have picked up the first down. They had to get it across the 41-yard line. I'm not sure he got it.
I think he's going to be a ball short.
Stopped by Harper.
Going to bring the sticks in and take a measure. Don Matthews says, hold it, punt team.
I wouldn't doubt if Don hates to be beaten by anybody, but be beaten by someone twice, I wouldn't doubt that he even went for this if it was a half a ball or so.
Well, the thing is, points sometimes factor into the playoffs too, how much you beat a team by. So
very good point.
You never want to call off the dog, so to speak.
That's right. You hear Don Matthews down there telling him watch the yard. They have to give him a yard. That is a rule in the CFL. The defensive line must be a yard off the ball. And they're going for it on 3rd and inches. Remember, 3-down football. Don't get the first down here, they'll turn it over. Good look there that they are a yard off the ball. You have to have that cushion. Play clock down to 5. Ham on the keeper, goes over left guard, and he should have it. There's the sign, first down.
And that's good for the first down.
Really, when it's inches like that, Bruce, how can you stop them when you have to play a yard off the ball?
It's almost impossible.
You almost have to mishandle a snap or something.
Exactly. And Tracy really likes to find his way up and down that line when he gets the snap on his quarterback sneaks. And you don't need that much, and you got somebody pushing you from behind a little bit if they do that. It's almost impossible not to get a yard.
Now a new set of downs, first down and 10, clock running, 8:17 left to play in the game, 40-17 Baltimore. Now Pringle really getting a workout. Got room up the middle and busted across midfield. Down to about the 54 of San Antonio.
There we go with that counter play again.
Jason Wallace. And that's good for another first down.
Watch this, gets right behind the guard play right there. There's Sharp Adonis out in front. Mike Pringle just a step away, Scott.
Well, it's kind of like those old Redskins team. Not the same kind of ball carrier, but the Redskins would get you, and then it'd be Riggins, and that's what they're trying to do now. Just kind of pound Pringle at him, use up clock, and keep backing them up. First and 10. Here comes Pringle again. Outside this time. And a short gain, got about 4 or 5.
Mike Pringle on the carry.
But the clock keeps ticking. 7:20 left in the fourth quarter. Now Pringle getting those carries up. 18 rushes, 74 yards.
That's more like it. That's what we're used to seeing last year, that when Pringle's in the ball game, him handling the football at least 15 to 25 times. It's interesting, too, we're seeing Robert Drummond in the backfield with Pringle also tonight, and he hasn't carried the ball. Maybe once or twice so far this evening.
Well, that fullback spot. Draw play, Pringle spins out of a tackle, and a good second effort, but he's short of the first down by a couple of yards. Let's see what Don wants to do this time. He's calling for Huerta, who hustles over, gets his helmet, and they'll try a long field goal attempt here. This is going to be about a 53-yarder.
Down and short.
Only about a yard short, and now I think they might take a timeout and talk it over. What do you want to do, Coach? You want to go for the yard, or you want to go for the...
I think that's what happened to him, Scott.
Yeah. Matthews had called for a field goal because he yelled to Huerta, who hustled over. I don't think Huerta thought he was going to try a field goal from that distance. There's the end of the last play with Pringle coming up about a yard short. Huerta got his helmet, ran onto the field, and then looked like Ham and the offense are saying, hey, we can get this yard. Terrapin Star, #1 pick in the NBA draft here tonight. He'll be joining us shortly, so we'll have a chance to visit with Joe. Let's see if they can get it. Third down and short. Pringle, 20. Got it by at least 6-8 inches.
Absolutely. I tell you, once he crossed that thing, he hit a brick wall, but he definitely got the first down.
First down for the Stallions.
So 2 straight third down and shorts, and they convert this one a little longer than the first one.
Watch this. Watch that penetration by that offensive line as they move those defensive linemen off the ball. That's what it's all about. The surge of that offensive line right there, moving those guys off the ball. And Mike Pringle's a tough kid, but he took a heck of a lick.
6 minutes left to play. 40-17, and there's a delay of game. I don't think he can talk his way out of this one.
No, I don't think
Time
so.
count violation. Baltimore #8.
Time count violation.
Tracy slapped his hands in disgust, a little upset with himself. Heck, he hasn't done much wrong tonight.
In golf, that's called bad course management,
Is
right?
that what? Yeah, exactly. I've done that a few times, bad course management.
First and 15. Ball on the San Antonio 49. Pringle the only running back. Fakes to Mike, now flips out.
Oh, what great hands.
Got room, 30. Knocked out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. Robert Drummond, 26 yards on the gain. 6'3", 215. He's the full package, Bruce.
Oh, yes, I'm telling you what, he can run. Now, this is an interesting little play. Fake the handoff there, and whoop. Whoa!
Nose almost scraped the ground, didn't it?
Real close.
Okay.
Watch him run, though. He can just really take off, as you said.
Maybe the ball hit the ground. Look at this angle.
Oh, it did.
Incomplete?
Incomplete pass.
Quick hands. He scooped it up.
That's right.
Pringle still on his feet. 15. One more man to beat, and he drags him inside the 10 to the 8. Vintage Mike Pringle. No quit. Biggest heart in the league.
Absolutely. Bobby Humphrey, the old vet, had to keep hold of him. He wanted to lasso him. He still couldn't stop Mike Pringle. Legs always churning, always heading north-south when he has to.
Not the fastest guy, not the shiftiest guy, but the most determined guy to carry the ball.
Watch this. Here it is. Vintage Mike Pringle, as we said. There's Bobby. Can't. Oh. Pick him up and throws him down a little bit. That's just the defensive frustration coming to the forefront.
Ham fakes the draw. Here comes the rush. He ducks it, and down he goes. Back on about the 19. Well, he got away once, but not the second time. Dave Harper, the linebacker, with the sack.
And that's the first time we've seen the all-out blitz.
Tommy Smith.
Here we see the both outside linebackers coming with no one really even picking them up. Usually at least one or two of them we get delayed a little bit. That's the first time the offensive line had somewhat of a total breakdown picking up the blitz.
Stallions trying to punch it in. They lead 40-17, 4:05 left to play in the game. Engel. Not much going on there, and he's dropped for a loss at the 21.
No, that twin tower play just wasn't suited to work that time.
So in comes the field goal unit. Robert Davis, the snapper. Danny Crowley, the holder, and Carlos Huerta marking the spot.
Carlos Huerta on a field goal formation.
I think if Carlos hits this one, I'm going to have him pick my lottery ticket.
He's 4 of 4. This one from 28 yards out. Crowley spots it. It's good. Perfect. Right down the middle.
That's called red hot, isn't it, Scott?
So Carlos Huerta, money in the bank on field goals. 5 of 5, and the lead now 43-17. Well, this is a good football team that they're taking it to. Didn't recognize him with the hat on.
I didn't either. How about he
just move, baby? That's Al's motto.
Just move. Did you see his press conference? He was beautiful.
Yeah, had a tie on even.
Eddie called me a genius. He's right. Talking about Eddie DiBartoldo.
Yeah. Archer still at the controls. Got a man open, complete, and some running room. 30. And finally run down from behind, got all the way down to about the 19-yard line.
Archer's pass.
The big gain that time as Archer hit Kralik.
Run down from behind by Matt Goodwin.
That's a linebacker that chased that young man down. 50-yard throw and catch right here. Here's a mistake. Not under control.
55 yards from Archer to the human bruise, Joe Kralik. Archer throwing in the corner, incomplete. Had 2 receivers down there. That's not always a good sign when you got two guys right on top of each other.
Stock, incomplete.
Stock and who was it? Tony Burse, both in that area. That tends to attract a lot of defense when you do that.
Absolutely, especially Burse, who's been catching a lot of balls tonight for San Antonio, doing a heck of a job as a fullback coming out of the backfield.
There's Don Matthews, and what a history he's had in this league, the 6th winningest coach. This will be his 110th win tonight, only 65 losses and a tie. Don in his 19th year in the CFL. Archer throwing short of the end zone. Caught there down near the 10-yard line. Billy Hess on the grab.
Archer's pass complete to Billy Hess.
Working for the second and third time tonight, Courtney Griffin.
Now we've got a timeout called. 2:32 left. I guess the only concern if you're Don Matthews and his staff now is to see Baltimore lose the Grey Cup. Can't wait. It was a great game, went down to the final play, and if you get a chance, 7:30 on Friday, July 14th, we'll show you the 94 Grey Cup, and that was a terrific football game with a lot of national pride on the line. Boy, those Canadians didn't want to see the cup come south.
No, they did.
And a few strange calls as well.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, that's why they had to have a new name, because when you go up to Canada, they'll tell you what they want to call you.
And it's not Stallions.
No.
On the ground, up over the top. Looks like he's got a first down, Mike Saunders.
Mike Saunders, the ball carrier.
Well, Texans trying to punch in a touchdown with just over 2 minutes left in the game. 43-17 is their score. It was a 3-3 tie after the first quarter. Baltimore had a 27-10 lead at the half, and they've outscored them 16-7 here in the second half. Shift out of the full house backfield. And Archer looking near side behind his intended receiver. Pass was intended for Kenny Neal.
Archer's pass intended for Kenny Neal.
When I know what Bayless and Presbury and all those guys are saying right now. We don't want them to score.
I think that's our cameraman taking some oxygen down on the sidelines, but a rough night for everybody. Mino, you all right down there?
Yeah.
He's been cramping up the entire second half. 1:55 left. This is second down.
Called everybody left.
Down the middle, and it's picked out. Picked out, I do believe, and then lost the handle. Gary Wilkerson on the pick, number 17. How do you do?
Wilkerson with the interception in the end zone.
He was signed Monday. So that's a good first impression.
Absolutely.
He's a Penn Stater.
Look at this Archer going the other way, and there it is, catching the football.
Now we got a fight out there. Schwack hooking up with somebody. Now it's turned into a verbal confrontation. And there's another look at the interception.
Wilkerson coming up. Tempers are definitely flaring down there as we speak.
Gary Wilkerson signed Monday out of Penn State, a 6th-year pro, spent 5 years with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. There he is. He was a teammate of Mike Alexander at Penn State, also a wide receiver here, and he's on the headsets, and they're saying nice job.
That's right.
Antonio will score.
I like his haircut.
Since the interception was not
He got it all done.
He did, didn't he? Take my son to that barber.
1:49 left. We've got to change at quarterback. This is Sean Jones, and he's in trouble, and down he goes. Back at the 15-yard line. Sean waited all day to get in the game. 43-18 with 1:43 left, and now we've got an injured Stallion. Looks like another of the linemen down. Lost Neil Fort to injury earlier in this game.
Stallions would like to welcome the following community groups to
Here comes team physician Dr. Gerson.
Program, the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Clubs, Department of Juvenile Services of Baltimore City, the Baltimore City Police Department Explorers Program from the
I don't like it when they get down there and they're whispering to each other. You know, usually you've got something, you're going to be saying, it's my knee, and it's Nick Stubis.
Olivet Baptist Church.
All East center, I believe. Nick Subis, the center. There's an All East performer that's been so valuable to this team. Neil Fort, all-league tackle, injured, suffered a knee injury earlier in the game. Don't know how serious that is. Neil Fort had not missed a snap in a year and 2 games of regular season play. Gary Wilkerson, who just picked off that ball. Welcome to Baltimore, Gary.
Say hi to everybody, Gary. Hi, Mom.
I want to man, shout out to Pete Becker to all the crazy homies.
To all the crazy homies. I think he was talking to you, Bruce.
Maybe he hangs at Kitty's Lounge.
He'll be over there with you this week.
No question.
You and all the other homies. Well, Nick Subis up in a sitting position. Nick actually played for Sacramento. Came over to Baltimore last year, and Mike Pringle, another guy. That's a good story, Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to Kay Stevenson. I said, Don Matthews said basically it was blind luck the way we got Mike Pringle. He was kind of a throw-in. We didn't know a lot about him.
Right.
He was a throw-in in the deal, and Kay Stevenson said, well, we liked Mike's ability, but he said we had Mike Oliphant, who had played with the Redskins, was a good, solid player, and we had Troy Mills, who was a 1,000-yard rusher, and he said wasn't that we didn't like Mike Pringle, but it was a numbers thing, and Mike comes over here and sets a CFL record and rushes for almost 2,000 yards.
How do you figure, you know? You just don't know until you get that opportunity, and Mike certainly makes the most of his opportunity, and we're seeing Nick Subis up and walking off under his own power now.
Well, that's
there we go.
Sign. So Nick Subis.
My old trainer down there pointed to his ribs a little bit. I can tell he probably got a little shot up underneath the ribs, and he'll be fine. Gonna ice that down tonight.
43-17 the score. Just a little over a minute and a half left. Sean Jones, second-year quarterback, gives it off to Mike Pringle.
Mike Pringle.
43-17 is the score. I'm not so sure. I might have Mike Pringle on the sidelines. And that gives him 100 yards rushing with that run. And on third down, it'll probably be a night for number 27.
Yeah, I would think so, Scott. No sense of using them. The game's out of reach. Way early in the season.
Well, when he runs for 100, they win, and that's the case here again tonight.
Look at that stat. Baltimore 8-0 last year when Mike Pringle rushed for 100 yards.
So he's now 9-0 as a 100-yard rusher. Josh Miller booms one. Wow.
He let the air out of that ball.
Bigfoot. Kenny Wilhite on the return, and down he goes just across the 40-yard line.
Led by the old crazy man, Alvin Walters.
Alvin led the Redskins in tackles 4 years, and he's a vet now, but playing like a rookie on those special teams, and really the spirit behind the special teamers.
He really is. He comes from that Redskin tradition. He knows how important special teams are. He really is the leader out there on special teams and leads by example.
That was a 58-yard punt from Josh Miller, leading punter in the CFL last year, and he is improving on his work of a year ago. Pass underneath. That burst just across the 50. Archer's gone the distance at quarterback for the Texans. Now these two teams meet next Saturday night down at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Great facility.
Yeah, I was talking to Billy Bradley, the defensive coordinator, said just a wonderful place. Couldn't be happier to be down there.
Short flip to burst. Cross midfield. Oh, man, did he run into Wilkerson. And a flag down.
Oh, they'll get him for taunting, I think, huh?
Mike Saunders, the ball carrier.
He buried Wilkerson.
Run out of bounds by Gary Wilkerson.
That's a big man. Burst gets ahead of steam going. Take a look.
Look at this guy, Saunders. Boom.
Threw the ball at him.
Threw the ball at him. Geez, why do you want to do that? You just ran over the guy.
You did enough, right?
You know? It's like backing the car back up. Let me see if I can get him some more.
Archer's thrown for 3.
Objectionable conduct. Number 32, San Antonio, after the first down had been gained, 1st and 10.
So a dead ball foul. They did get the first down, then came the penalty. Archer, we said, thrown for 308 yards, but that's a soft 308, wouldn't you say?
Very soft. As you can see in the last few plays, they're playing a deep zone. He's been able just to toss it underneath, and that's what basically they've given him all day.
41 seconds left in the game. Baltimore's initial win in the 95 season, and now the ball stripped and picked up by Alfred Payton. Look at him go. There could be a dance on the end of this play. Oh, he fumbles and got it back on the 5. Schwack, do your thing.
Oh, Schwack, watch this one. Here we go.
Soul Train hits town.
No question. I tell you, Dance Fever was made up with Alfred Payton in mind.
And now he high-fives and gives the official a pat on the backside. I want to tell you. 36 yards.
That outside move again. Slaps the ball right away from David Archer. And look at the big man go.
I think he's talking to him.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
What a play to get that fumble back.
That's called a lucky bounce.
Yeah, you're right. And now some of his best work.
Here we go. Soul Train by number 56.
Well, he's some kind of player. Hey, part of the game's entertainment.
Absolutely.
30 seconds left. Let's see if Sean Jones can get him in. Throwing. Touchdown. Robert Clark. I guess he was the intended receiver.
I don't think so. But who's going to know?
Clark, second of the game. And a flag down. A little pick play, maybe?
I think so.
No, wait a minute. Now Baltimore saying the penalty.
San Antonio, number 16. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Wow.
So Robert Clark has his second TD. Yeah, hey Bruce, if you're the Sacramento or the San Antonio side, you're saying maybe they're running it up.
Yeah, at this point, I think you do.
But if you're the Baltimore side, you remember that there's tiebreakers in this league, so you get what you can.
But that showed some great hands right there, didn't it? Here we go again. See it again.
Bingo. I'll tell you what, Reggie Perry went up the ladder, didn't he?
He sure did.
And Robert Clark scores his second PD of the night. Here comes the 50-point, and it's good. 50-17, it's turned into a major league blowout.
Well, Scott, Robert Clark's a pretty big kid. He's 6 feet, but these other receivers that they have on this ball club, I mean, he's a smurf compared to Alexander and Chris Armstrong. They're all 6'3", 205. Not quite, okay, I was a little bit off. He's 5'10", but the rest of these guys are all 6 feet, 6'2" or 3", 200, 205.
That seems to be the trend in pro football, doesn't it?
It sure does.
To get the bigger receivers against the smaller corners.
That's right.
So 25 seconds left, and they've scored 47 points in 3 quarters, basically, with only a field goal in the first.
Well, you want to talk about explosiveness? This game certainly has it.
Clark with the touchdown and gives Schwack, Alfred Payton, the assist.
Well, Don got a lot of things from everybody today, Scott. Don't you think? Special teams certainly redeemed themselves from the week before. You got Chris Wright going in for a punt for a touchdown. You got the defense stripping balls away, giving them great field position.
And a good time was had by all except the Texans.
Long ride home.
Well, they got them in their building next week. Josh Miller kicks it off. This is Wilhite. Got some room at the 50. Into Baltimore territory, and the kickoff man, Josh Miller, finally bounces him out of bounds.
On the return, one out of bounds by
Josh Miller.
Josh showing his good tackling technique. So we see him walking off the field now.
And Don Matthews is hot. He doesn't care the fact that he's winning 50-17. He says, let's cover, guys.
Here we see it. He finds that opening. That play should have been made right there by Lester.
Pretty good cut there.
There's a nice running. Right, Scotty. He's running real well here.
First and 10.
Here's Josh. Well, what do I do when I get up? Yeah, I grab him by the back and throw him down.
58 yards on that return from Kenny Wilhite. He wasn't one of the return guys early in this game, but he's going to get his shots now. Archer throwing deep into the corner, and it's out of bounds.
Archer's pass intended for Mark Stock.
Stock pretty well covered by Anthony.
That's Charles Anthony doing a good job.
For the Stallions.
As we said earlier in the broadcast, both the corners and the halfbacks on both sides of the right and left side of the field have done a wonderful job. I mean, Archer really hasn't gotten the ball to his wideouts, but what, 5 or 6, 7 times?
Well, with about 2 minutes left in the first half, he hadn't hit a pass to his wide receivers.
Right, so
10 seconds left in the game. Archer underneath the burst. He's tackled with 3 seconds left.
Archer's pass complete to Tony Burst.
Another rule in the CFL, if there's time left on the clock, you get another play. Actually, time had run out in the Grey Cup when Pasaglia kicked the game-winning field goal. See the time running down, and this will be the final play of the game.
Going to throw the ball in the end zone.
He's not going to run it in. He's got a man open, and touchdown. So they get one on the final play of the game as Kralik gets behind the Baltimore defense.
They finally got the rookie. 28 Griffin.
28 yards on the strike. Archer to Kralik. (50-23). Schwack catching a breather down there after rushing the quarterback. Alfred Payton was down on one knee for a long time, just up and coming off. Here's the touchdown again, Bruce.
Again, there's a lot of time. Only rushing 4 guys supposed to be covering back there, but
convert attempt.
got behind Courtney Griffin.
And Roman Anderson on for the convert, as they call it in the CFL. Picks up, and it's good.
And the convert is good.
And that should do it. That's it. The Stallions win their debut 50-23. And David Archer comes across the field to shake the hand of Don Matthews. He's a class act.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
You okay?
All in all, you'd have to be pretty happy if you're Don Matthews tonight, Bruce.
You certainly do. I tell you, coming off a tough road loss, especially to the team you lost the Grey Cup to, coming back home, as we talked about, Scott, in the pregame show a little bit of a must game for Don Matthews Ball Club. As you know, he wants to win them all. He thinks every ball game is as important as the next. But, you know, you really want to win your home opener, no question. And I think he showed that he certainly had them ready to play, both physically and mentally tonight.
Robert Clark caught a couple. Tracy Ham had a good game running the ball, threw some touchdown passes. And then the special teams came through. The coverage was a lot better than it was at BC. And then the electrifying play on the return from Chris Wright for the touchdown. And he looks like he's really going to give this team a spark in special teams. 50-24, the final. Back with some final thoughts from Memorial Stadium right after this.